This podcast contains adults using adult language. You have been warned.
Looking back on a past where we still had a chance. We were pawns in a game that we could not win.
Mox.
Nice.
It is
Yeah,
nice,
I found
isn't
two, one green black and one
Nice.
mono black.
I will
deck
pull this
in my
game
trunk
over.
yesterday.
I will
think we're
pull
live.
this
I'm having
game
a
over if you don't say.
Brian, I'm having a conversation. Shut up.
We're talking.
We're talking about things over here.
Listen, if I want to be like you, I'll start interrupting. Okay, but I'm talking to Clues.
Oh
Can we play Dad?
I'm
No,
no, we're
Okay.
talking about
Dad has
magic.
spoken. Apparently, we're not playing today.
apparently not. We're just gonna listen to.
All right, see
the
ya.
stories.
deuces. I've got better things to do, like ice cream.
You're gonna play Skyrim.
Well, I mean, up until a minute ago, I was St. Brian, and I was going to be your dungeon master for your game of Team X today. But I guess now,
it's all fucked.
instead, you know,
Everything's fucked.
I
That was a very extreme direction to go with that, and I love it.
just I don't
Take the hurt out of your voice.
I don't know.
You're not hurt.
I don't know. a
You'll
little
be
hurt.
okay.
I'm a little
Put
hurt.
some dirt on it.
Rub some dirt on it and walk it off.
Rub some dirt on your wounded soul.
All
You'll
right,
be fine.
we'll be fine. All right. So, but I am in fact St. Brian, and I am in fact the dungeon master, and I'm going to rein this motley crew back into submission. So as we play a game, well, maybe not, but I'm at least going to make a good show of it. And we're going to, well, let's face it, we've never made a good show anything, but we're going to have a good time playing. This is, folks, this is the high quality content that you can come
Listen,
to expect from Eat Drink Roll.
Like,
This is so. Team X is in fact an official franchise of Acquisitions Incorporated, operating out of Pinedale with exclusive rights to the Chandlewood region. We're going to bring everyone up to speed in just a moment, but first we are going to go and perform the ancient ritual of introducing the players in today's game, starting with, in the quadrant 4 position.
I'll remain shocked that it's me
Every time.
every time.
there'll never not be a moment of.
No, there won't
Shock,
be.
shock, shock! I tell you,
I'm shocked.
Well, not
I'm
that shot.
shocked. I'm conscious. No.
shocked and appalled.
Who am I? I'm Clues, playing Jeremiah Gemweaver, Tinker Gnome Extraordinaire, and I'm not going to be on my A game. Fair warning today. So there's that. Next.
Are you doing clockwise or?
I don't know.
As always,
Dungeon Master.
clockwise to quadrant
Just-
1.
We do it every week, Yvonne.
Sometimes
Every week you mess
Sometimes
this
it's like,
up.
let's make an X, and then
No,
other
he's
times it's
done
like
that one
counterclockwise.
time, and that was like a year ago.
I'm confused now.
We've retconned that. No.
I am Viking Goat. I play Cynic General Trunk. Up until recently, friend-shaped Furbolg, walking capybara,
Mhm.
and last week he basically became the Death Machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully this week he'll have refound some of his sanity or whatever.
I mean, I kind of hope not.
Like, let's
Just because.
if I'm just being honest here.
Serenity now.
No, it's not working. I am Blind Cleric. I am playing human fighter Hugon Valander, civic planner, hopeful for council seat, and otherwise really excited to start abusing whatever governmental powers are invested in his position. That will be fun.
Yes.
Kick it over to our, as of recently sobered tiefling.
I am Raz, also known as Purple Monkey Robots, and I am playing the Tiefling Bard Eno, who is now no longer poisoned.
Not poisoned anymore.
Mostly.
He's mostly poison free, but if he were to take the poison test, it would not show that. It would, it's going to show up for the next 30 days or so. So he's got
a breathalyzer's impressive in Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, I don't know. They just need you to pee on things, apparently.
If not, I can invent it, I guess.
I mean, you could.
Listen, if Dren's
But
required...
I mean, like, keep in mind that sort of like how a Geiger counter can be like set to account for background radiation, you need to set one to account for like the sort of constant state of inebriation of dwarves.
That's true. It'd be like the dwarves or the Irish level. It'd be like there's like Irish level, then there's normal.
I feel like it'd be the other way around though for dwarves because they're supposed to be constantly like low buzzy.
Yeah, if they're
well,
not,
right.
then
Like if you're trying to test like how drunk,
levels.
like can you drive this cart, sir? Like
But they have to be like in this area of drunk. If they're over here or over here, like too drunk or not drunk enough, they would just don't function.
I mean, this is true. I mean, why do you think dwarven berserkers are sober? I mean, it's because they're fucking furious all the time.
Or they get interrupted.
Oh, yeah, it's true. The Battle Rager is an actual class they can take.
Blink. Blink. Blink.
Well,
we just want to talk about magic.
So, okay. Dungeons and Dragons. I think we're going to play first edition today.
No.
Sweet. I don't have that book on hand.
Review.
It's downstairs.
What's my Thaco?
Second edition.
Don't make us calculate.
Oh, you youngins all had it so easy. Anyway.
I was about to say, who here has actually played first edition?
Oh.
Second, sorry. I played D&D and it was advanced.
I graduated. I went from that red box to that blue box, and I felt like such. Anyway, that aside, when we last saw our heroes, they took the very, very wise action of splitting the party. They've determined that through a contact with Hugon Valander's estranged, one could say, grandfather.
Or whatever malevolent force is piloting his somehow rejuvenated corpse.
They've learned that there is an impending attack of gnolls and other sundry creatures whose sole purpose, sole mission, sole goal in this attack is to wipe Pinedale off the face of the planet for reasons not yet revealed, unknown to the party. So preparations have begun. It has started with Hugon and Eno helping to build fortifications, use the laborers that have decided to stay behind and not evacuate to the Shadow Monastery, or who will eventually evacuate to the Shadow Monastery, in building the fortifications and defenses, dividing up labor. There's berms being built. During the course of this, not only did we get an awesome song out of Eno to help rally the troops, which was excellent, we also got a new invention that was
also from Eno.
But I'm sure there was some collaboration there. There was basically a crank operated repeating crossbow. Would be
essentially,
but with a shield in front of it, so that way
officially named.
That was officially named by none other than Jerriford K. Horcrims, Tycho Brahe.
Jerry Holkins, aka Tycho Brahe,
aka
Wouldn't it just be Omen? He just because he would have been the one who named it.
It's
I
true.
don't know. I kind of just want to give Jerry the credit for this one.
Well, we
that
did
is his special
send
power.
the actual blueprint to head office via
bug.
So
Did you put that up on the EDR Twitter?
I did not on the EDR Twitter. It was on my own.
You need to put it up on the EDR Twitter so we can show everyone because those are badass.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you are actually a part of our Discord, you can actually see it in our Discord.
Oh, that's true.
Discord plug.
Discord plug. So go to our Discord.
I was wondering how we were going to work that.
I have a thing. Hold on. Does it work? That works.
Yeah, it does work.
There we go. So you could go ahead and join our Discord, and you can see the picture that was named by one of our fearless leaders, the seamstress,
Yes.
which is just perfect.
Which I've spent the last basically week.
Just drooling over.
Well, it's not drooling over, but like just turning over in my mind how we turn this from like a stationary object to a
machinations.
like mechanical can wheel along
There-
the parapet
Listen,
kind of thing.
I'm not shaming you for there being some kind of mental salivating, because there's nothing wrong with that. You guys
Like
came
if
up
we
with something very
turn
cool.
the actual crossbow mechanism 90 degrees,
Oh no.
you can get 2 people
Oh God.
actual chamber, right? And one
Jesus.
on the crank to move it back and forth and articulate it up and down, and then the other to load and fire.
So we'll do version 2.0.
Version 2.0, it's going to need to be bigger, and that's kind of a problem for me because I don't like there's a sliding scale of like, you know how rockets work, where if your rocket is too big, you need too much fuel to put the rocket into space, so you need a bigger engine, which takes more fuel. Yeah,
We're
so
gonna have
that's what
some
I'm trying to
fun.
avoid.
And I think part of the fun is that Drenmai hasn't seen it yet.
Right, that's the crazy part.
I can't wait to fuck around with it.
Speaking of Drenmai and Thunuk,
Not
Drenmai,
a plant.
formerly a plant,
Not a plant anymore.
not a
Yay.
plant anymore, but while a plant, realized something was kind of very partially blocking the sun, because plants are kind of sensitive to this thing. And using her arcane senses determined that there were weird strings coming down from the sky somewhere into the Chandawood. So she enlisted Thunuk.
Magical sky octopi.
Yeah, Magical Sky Octopi. It's a working title, working title. She dragooned Thunuk Gentletrunk as her trusty mount to
This is true.
head off into the forest. And it just so happened that Thunuk also had need to be in the forest. He was going to go talk to the trees and start doing the 8 hours of plant growth ritual.
That's metal. I like that. I still like that idea.
There, so we're going to see what the results of that. Some of the Potato Scouts came along.
I forgot about that. And now I'm angry.
So,
I
for-
forgot that you were endangering children again.
Well, they do have these excellent.
In Thunuk's defense, the first time, he is not responsible for whatever they do on their own time.
He wasn't there the first time they went off in the woods. But with some of the Potato Scouts who are very, very good at hiding. Very, very good at hiding. You could be a Potato Scout right now and you would never know.
And then next thing you know, like you become 3 Potato Scouts in a
I
trench
almost
coat.
kicked one. Hugon almost kicked one because he thought like a piece of trash had come to life.
Yes.
It was
For all we know, it's not actually Hugon. It's just 3 Potato Scouts wearing a Hugon mask walking around. You know, these things are... This is all the possibilities. But during the course of their adventures in the woods, not only did Thunuk Gentletrunk not be so gentle when he found a small encampment of gnolls who have absolutely defiled in every way, shape, and form nature around them, between the sacrifices they were making, the carvings. It was the exact opposite of a leave no trace ethic. It was
Leave lots of
it
traces.
was
so
leave-
much trace
It was leave
that
as much
like
trace
Smokey
as
the Bear
possible.
weeps.
Yes. It was it's to the point where we got to see a pissed off Thunuk Gentletrunk. And he, with the assistance of Drenmai, essentially took out the entire encampment with his magics and his rage. Drenmai helped. I don't want to take away the blight.
My wonderful necromantic
Yes.
energies going on.
And during the course of their explorations, they seem to have stumbled across the main camp.
Oh shit! I forgot about
They
that.
came across the main camp,
Yeah,
Of-
remember what I saw.
and Drenmai saw in one of the tents, she saw gnolls, more gnolls, bigger gnolls,
But more importantly,
oddly shaped gnolls, like
Nope.
lycanthropes.
not
Of,
those. Nope.
she saw Marcus Valander wearing a mask.
Nope.
She
Don't
saw
care.
the Dragonborn that has the same kind of mask.
Nope. Still not it.
And in the tent where she saw them, sitting on a table, she saw her lantern.
Ding, ding, ding.
The only thing she gives a shit about.
Well, listen, for
Very,
good reason.
very on brand for Dren, not
For-
really caring about anybody else but herself.
For very good reason, though. It's as much for your safety as it is for her.
Pretty much.
It's without it, she is not OSHA compliant.
She's even more of a pain in the ass.
Pretty much.
So that is where we currently lay our scene. It is late in the afternoon, a late summer afternoon in the Chellendawood. In this particular area of the Chellendawood, right by this camp. So you're basically sitting on top of, you're on top of this ridge, this treed ridge, looking down, and it's like almost like 10 to 15 foot slope going down into this depression, almost like this little bowl feature that has been completely, it's been completely cleared of trees and vegetation, and it's just basically this brown, almost blighted area where this encampment has been made. So you're hiding up on top of this ridge looking down. You've got a pretty good view of this encampment. You hear no birds singing. You hear no woodland creatures chittering away. It is deathly silent in the wood near this place. It's not hard to figure out why. It's not hard to figure out why you have no sound, because you have this large group of demonic creatures, essentially, the spawn of a demon, meandering about, engaging in war preparations. It's hot. It is a hot day, and
It's damn hot.
it is damn hot, and with that comes the smell of an encampment. Now, a military encampment on its best day is not a nice smelling place. There's just the smell, usually in a say a normal war camp of humans or other assorted humanoids. There's gonna be some smell of people,
There's going to be a stank.
a little bit of a stank. This is a whole new level. You don't think they're taking
New stay.
a whole
Stop.
new
I rebuke
stank?
you. Rebuke.
There's
No.
it's bad, because now you have almost like this. It's a combination. So not only do you have the smell of like the latrines that are not being properly maintained, not only do you have the smell of rotting flesh, because it's pretty much, gnolls eat meat, lycanthropes eat meat, and they just sort of eat it, and whatever the carcass is, they just sort of leave them there. They're not really big about clean. So you have the smell of rotting flesh, and then you just have the smell in general of all of these creatures. So it smells very much like a wet dog that's been rolling around in God knows what and sitting out in the sun.
As a point, I am now curious. Are there like were-bovines? Because there's like were other creatures. There's like were crocodiles, were bears, were tigers.
That might be something we have to explore at another time.
werewolves.
Where
And
cows?
yes, all of them eat meat, and like maybe some are even omnivorous. Like, why are there no were herbivores? Like were hippo, or were cow, or were deer?
Maybe there are. It's just that you are so rarely bitten by something that it could make you into a were
See, that's
herbivore.
Probably true. Maybe they
Well,
are,
well,
but like since they're inherently non-predatory, we just never hear about
All
them.
right, table talk. We'll come back to
Herbivores.
table talk. Oh god.
See, werebadger, yes, there is a werebadger. JD Lady is correct.
But they also eat meat. They're omnivorous.
They're omnivorous, yes.
the werebivores. Okay, that's
I'm just picturing like were fish right now, like a were koi, and it's
Were
really
shark.
cool.
That's a thing.
Bloop, bloop.
Were sharks are a thing.
yeah.
Were octopus.
Where sharks are a thing, and they know jujitsu. So
What?
It's a meme that's going around.
anyway, this is where Thonic Gentle Trunk and Drenmai Gem Weaver. And I just gotta say, every time I hear that name, I just hear Ian McKellen saying it. So, Drenmai Gem Weaver. This is where you find yourself. The Potato Scouts have very successfully led you stealthily to this place, and have very quickly again vanished into the brush.
I can't believe
as
oh
they
my
are
God,
as they are wont to do. But this is where we find ourselves. We find ourselves on this ridge, overlooking this camp. Some torches are already lit. You see some fires lit. It looks like some of the encampments are, some of the tents are actually built out of the bones of some of the creatures they might have slain. It's very ramshackle. You hear a lot of disturbing noises coming from this place. just from the sounds of the various creatures, in addition to hearing Abyssal being spoken, and Abyssal is not a pleasant language. Like, there's some very pleasant languages. French is a very pleasant language. Spanish, Japanese is a very pleasant language. And then there are some languages that are just not pleasant to the ear.
English, for instance.
English could be.
The Swiss Army chainsaw of languages.
So, this is where you find yourselves. Drenmai, you see your lantern.
Trust me,
It is-
I've been debating this all week, and I'm basically gonna leave it up to a fate die.
So,
Yeah, you said
as-
you were going to roll a fate die for this. if I
and what I'm
recall.
Yeah.
seeing here is
Horrifying.
as Drenmai locks in on this, if you've ever, there's a camera effect where the camera pushes in but zooms out at the exact same time. So the perspective stays exactly the same, but everything just sort of seems to grow in it. So, for example, in Fellowship of the Ring, the very first time the hobbits encounter the ring wraiths on the
I think
road,
we should get off the road.
and you see like the camera, and like nothing's actually moving, but it is. And I'm thinking that's kind of how it is when Drenmai sees that. She sees the lantern, and the camera's pushing up and zooming out. And there's like just this hyper focus on this thing.
Yeah. If I was like a Terminator, the eyes would like focus in and like me. Oh man, this is gonna suck. All right. I'm gonna go positive. I go for my lantern.
Mhm.
Negative, I have some random happenstance happen that knocks me out of my senses and say I should get the rest of the group.
Okay, so that would be a bad thing?
Yes, for Dren.
For Dren.
Right, of course. I forgot. Fucking Dren. Right.
Oh, okay.
And?
So I'm gonna say,
It's been nice knowing you guys.
yeah.
I mean,
like,
has it though?
eyes focus, and I see my lantern, and I'm gonna kind of look around and be like, okay, there's Marcus, there's Dragonborn, there's this, there's that, there's this, and I'm gonna kind of take a scope of the land and see, like, I'm small,
You are small.
You are small.
and see if I can do a small.
Oh, a small and a snack.
And then it's gonna be like, here comes the little angel on my shoulder, and here comes Hugon on my shoulder.
The angel and the Hugon.
And Mini Me is saying, go get your lantern. And Hugon's saying,
Don't go get your lantern. There are children around you.
and me saying, but I need it. It's
We
mine,
can come back. You know where it is.
but I'm already here.
And if you get children killed, Hugon is going to kill you.
And then I'm gonna kind of like, and then poof clouds, and then nod to myself.
Wait. How are you nodding to your angel self or to your like yourself?
Yes. To myself self.
Also,
I'd probably look at like angel self and be like, yeah, okay. And then Hugon self, nah, and then okay. And I'll shrink back into the shrubbery and go back to where Thanuk is.
Wait, I completely misread that.
I did it on purpose.
Okay.
So basically Hugon's argument side won out in my brain. It was like, okay,
without resorting to like unconscious combat.
yeah, we already went through that. So
Which was great.
I didn't need to fight my conscience.
Literally.
But yeah, literally again. So I'll go back to where Thanuk is. Is he still kind of like enraged, or is he calmed down a bit?
It's been a couple of hours.
He's calm. He's riding that edge that says
Okay.
if anything else sets him off, but
Like
when
this camp.
actually he saw the camp and then he went bloop. It
Yeah.
was like that like when we're in the library and we encountered what was it? It was a it was a big predator, basically.
It was a shadow dragon.
It was a shadow dragon, and Thunuk went bloop.
He did.
Thunuk has gone bloop. He's gone. He's there, but he's
Okay.
gone.
He's in threat level mustard right now, like sort of in the yellow.
Okay.
He's like, this is not a good place to be, and I don't want to be here. And boop.
Yep. So then I'll kind of like, I'm assuming he's almost got that like 100-yard stare thing going
Mhm.
on.
And he's
And
also
I won't-
invisible.
Oh no,
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah. He turns invisible when that's what the bloop is. It's like a defense mechanism.
There is a
Okay.
larger, meaner predator out here than he's used to handling. He has gone invisible.
And
How
it's
do you
a
turn invisible?
it's a Fearbulb thing.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I had no idea. That's
I
awesome.
didn't know he was invisible. So
But-
I'm gonna do.
But he has no control over it. That's the best part.
I'm gonna use my 24 Arcana to just sense where Thunuk would be then. Also, I can probably see indentation in the grass and shit.
Yeah, I think this would be more of a perception.
Okay.
Because if you could detect invisibility through Arcana, it would kind of defeat the purpose
it's
of turning
kinda
invisible.
You can also see his footprints pretty easily. I mean,
Yeah, that's what I'm
it's-
saying. The
That's what. Yeah.
Also, you can probably smell him.
That too. So 19 on perception.
yeah, you go back to where you were,
Yeah.
and there is no Thunuk, but there is.
Yeah, I kind of want to see the mass or
Well-
like the missing area where shrubbery probably
So
should be.
where they took you was kind of like it was almost like a natural hedge, right? Of like boxwood and rhododendron and things like that, and you were able to kind of snake your way through the leaves and everything and see. And as you come back to where you were, there is no more Thunuk, but there is a Thunuk-shaped hole in the shrubbery. Like,
That's
if he had-
shaped negative space.
Negative space. But it's not like the branches were broken, so it's not like, Wile E. Coyote going through it and a shape there. It's obvious that there is a Thunuk-shaped invisible object in this bush. You can see the leaves or like the branches are pushed way back. There's
Yeah.
you can see they're kind of moving as he's like gently, because as he shuffles around a little bit and readjusts himself. And as
Yeah.
small as he's tried to make himself, it's still a tasty boy. It's
Mhm.
it's a
Oh, yeah.
it's still a big meatball.
I'm gonna kind of go over to that space, and I'd like to think that at this point in the Potato Scouts, there'd be like some kind of wilderness call. So
Mhm.
I want to kind of like make said wilderness call, and I'll leave it up to Thunuk on what he wants that to
What
be.
would the noise be that a potato makes? What is the call of the spud?
Yeah, what is the call of the Potato Scouts for this is their wilderness training, and should you get lost or should you need to call upon or do a snack, then you use said Potato Scout call.
I think he would have attempted to teach them the sounds of nature, like
Okay.
the rustling of leaves and stuff like that. Because to him, that's just words you can make. You can
Yeah.
say, but he's like, why can't you make the sounds? And they're, but in the end, it's probably going to be what sounds like the most common bird call or rodent, or tree frog or whatever.
What if it
What?
if it was like since we're going for naturey, what if it was almost like a wood whistle? Like you get a hollowed out piece of stick tree and they could almost whistle through it.
Yeah.
It would be kind of like a whistling air sound almost. So the sounds of like
Oh, like winds and stuff. So he would have tried to
Yeah.
make them try to teach them like nature sounds, but they're like, we can't make these sounds with our mouths, and they make their own little flutes.
yeah, just like little mini ones. And it'd
Yeah.
be kind of like a whistling but
I like
more
it.
like wind whistling.
And
Okay,
so it
so-
is done.
and and so I'd like to imagine that I had like whittled one at some point, and I'll make like the sound to call the Potato Scouts to me.
Or is it
whatever
that
one-
it just so happens that Dren has like a random piece of part of something on her?
That would work.
To me, potatoes.
I'll go in the
Summon
infinite
you.
like bag of garbage that I have on me. And
Because
be
you
like,
never
"Oh,
know.
this'll
You
work
keep all of these parts. There's a reason why
for everything."
I've kept these parts from my old keyboard, because you never
Yes.
know when I'm going to need this particular shaped piece of plastic or this
Yep.
one. It's, and it just so happens you have one that looks like this little, because we're not talking about anything like truly like odd. It's a piece of
No,
like,
no, no. It's gonna be a stick that's hollowed out that has
Yeah.
kind of like a hole in it, so that way that makes the almost a whistly wind sound.
Dren tried to smoke something out of it, didn't work.
Yeah,
In the
could
pocket.
have been any number of things.
It's like a steampunk crack pipe or something.
It's a steampunk one hitter.
So I wanna call the potato scouts to me, and I'm gonna be kind of like next to Thanuk.
Okay, so here's, like you get
Yeah.
that.
Whistly wind sound.
Yeah, it sounds like just the wind, but it's if you know what you're listening for. And so one of them just sort of emerges from this pile of leaves next to you.
Okay. I'll tell him.
The pile of leaves, or was it the pile of leaves?
You don't know. Porque no los dos. So I'll kind of see this creature appear, and like, we need to get away from this area. Bad guys are afoot, and we need to get Thanuk back to a good mental state. So we're gonna kind of lead him back. I kind of want I want a potato scout on each hand,
Mhm.
like just walking Thanuk back home. and I'll kind of be like on the shoulder, it's okay. Things are fine, kind of thing. Make Thanuk happy. I'll dig around in the rucksack and try and find snacks or something.
His rucksack or your rucksack?
His rucksack.
Oh,
He's got all the good stuff.
So, so Thunuk, you're still invisible,
Mhm.
and Dren has summoned some of the potato scouts.
Yeah, I
You-
want to lead a potato scout, and I'll kind of feel around
You-
where the
You
hand
get
should
one
be.
hand,
Like
get the
here,
other,
attach here, attach here.
and so basically you've got the invisible tethers now. So they're holding they're just holding on to these enormous hands, and trying to lead you. And she climbs up on your shoulder, and basically just climbs up on this invisible structure, right? But then disappears into your
Yeah, I'm floating.
yeah. But then you disappear into his backpack, where inside everything is visible. You're inside the backpack. You can see everything. You're now inside, but people can still see you. So now it's just you rooting around this backpack, looking around. You can see everything inside the backpack, but you being inside his knapsack does not make you invisible.
Nope. I'm doing weird somersaults in the air right now.
Yes. So it's just weird kind of sea monkey thing, more or no, it's more like a lava lamp. The way you're flowing around in between
Yeah.
everything,
Hugon would hate it.
Yeah, there's a little.
I mean, that's not any different from anything that you do.
No, but there's a little body horror going on here with how just the contortionism that's going along, and
Oh yeah, I'm a gnome. I'm mushy.
Wow,
Not aware that was a
Bones
feature of
optional.
gnomes. We are mush.
that sounds super gross.
We are
she's like
cartilaginous
the kid
mice.
she's like the kid from Stranger Things, no collarbones, just folds
Uh-huh.
in and
The fuck?
yeah, the kid that plays Dustin.
No spoilers.
on-
No spoilers.
No,
Spoiler
no,
alert.
it's
No,
the
that's
actor.
not spoiler alert. This is an actual thing about the actor.
Oh.
Which they
Yeah, it's the thing with the actor.
incorporated
He
into the
has
character.
a this disease where he was born and does not have collarbones.
Yeah, he can mush right here.
so
and
here
it's
you
weird.
can bring
He has no clavicle?
no clavicle.
Or like
yeah,
the actual weird.
no clavicle.
Ah,
Yeah,
I was
so,
not aware that was a thing.
It's a condition that also that's why his teeth haven't come in yet. Basically, they're taking extra long.
They don't know, and sometimes they don't come in. So in the second
Huh.
season, he's actually wearing dentures, and when you see him in
Wow.
public, he's wearing dentures.
Huh.
So
These are things I didn't know.
he also has a remarkable singing voice. But that aside, we will move along. So yeah,
Forward.
moving forward. So you guys are going to start making your way back. Give me, yeah, you know what? I think give me a stealth check, Thunuk.
not me.
Not you, because you're kind of pawing around inside his knapsack there.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Thunuk, you would get advantage on this at the very least, or is there? I forget. It's with invisibility, or is it just like you get? I forget if it's an enormous advantage or an enormous bonus to that,
I don't know.
or
It
is
just
it?
says I'm invisible.
Hmm.
Although I suspect a floating Drenmai.
Might give you away a little bit,
Yeah.
but don't worry about that. Don't
Okay.
don't bother me with your logic and physics.
Jan says,
invisibility. The
I'm gonna roll 2d20 just in case if it's a.
yeah, it's just I think you're gonna be fine.
So is it? Which one do you want it to be? Do you want it to be?
Well, what's the what do you get? What's your number?
Well, it depends. Is it super bonus or is it
Super advantage.
It doesn't actually say in the spell
It
entry.
doesn't say
which is-
whether. Yeah.
So I mean,
I would give it DM discretion then.
Yeah. What's the highest number you rolled? Just off the dice.
Minus my stealth, 15.
Minus
Wait,
your
minus?
stealth.
right? Because he big,
Wait.
he loud.
10'6".
He's a big boy.
Good lord.
Big meaty boy. That's yeah. You're fine. You're able to start moving. The potato scouts are able to help again lead you through the softest path, where there's a cushion of pine needles, where there's not sticks, where there's not, dry leaves, where you're able to move rather stealthily. So we shall then take our camera and do the whole zoom. So we're watching down. The camera's right above. As
Zoom out,
it zooms
and
out,
zoom
pans,
in.
and zooms in. Super zoom. Google Earths all the way into Pinedale, where again it is late afternoon. Much progress has been made. You've got some of the evacuees are starting to get some meals together, start bringing out like pots, like some communal areas to start cooking, which always smells good. Nice stews and things. Easy, easy to scoop. Just throw a whole bunch of stuff in a pot, cook it, boom, nothing. Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, like the definition of potluck.
The
Just
hardest part of a stew is a roux. You just gotta stand there
Mm-hmm. And it's just
like 45 goddamn minutes.
someone's got something that looks like a canoe paddle, sitting there stirring it all up. Progress is being made on. So the plan was, for those who might have missed it last week, was to dig this big trench that leads from the bridge crossing the river in a serpentine manner, so that way with high berms on both sides to funnel anyone who's coming in through this. And even should they decide to try to go over the berms, it would just make it more difficult and give
There's also walls, palisades, I should say.
yeah, palisades and the towers that are in the process of being built. Progress is being made. Eno was able to help with this last week, a few hours ago, but in real terms, last week, using his shatter spell to help dig out some of the more difficult areas by exploding the earth with it was shatter, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like tremors.
Yeah, just you blowing up, little people watching from the roofs, because even on a scary time, it's kind of cool to see things blow up in a controlled manner. They're not done yet. They obviously, it's going to take probably until into the next day, late into the next day, to finish these projects of towers and whatnot. The seamstresses are sitting on top of the hill, looking down on this trench that's being dug. The engineers who built it are the engineers who are building it are making little tweaks, little they're making little adjustments, because when you did your test, they saw maybe this gear wasn't engaging properly with this gear, right. And wait, we have a stress fracture here, and so they're continuing to run tests on this. And I believe also, so you were still kind of like overseeing that and excuse me, and supervising, directing people when they had questions, making adjustments here and there. No, you got to get that right. You had sent to when you're able to open the portal, Hugon has tasked Tadel Swift, his protege, to go to the Shadow Monastery to find Laura Lissa and Kohand, the Fiedlerson twins, or the Fiedlerson siblings rather, to return from the Shadow Monastery, because you need all the help you can get. And Eno, after engaging in some, let's call it light home invasion.
Light light home invasion.
Yes.
Like sort of like the low calorie version of a breaking and entering.
It was determined that after and almost eaten by a very
That
large
did
trapdoor
happen.
spider.
Yeah.
He then was able to convince the owner that he was actually doing a security check,
Yeah.
and had convinced the owner to attempt to milk the spider for its venom.
Ah!
That's- that's
What was the spider's name? Like Theo or
Gus.
something like that?
Gus.
Gus.
Gus, the enormous trapdoor spider.
Too quiet, too smooth,
The legs are too fat.
too fat.
I
Just
hate all
everything.
of it.
Just two fingers. Just
Mm,
It skitters.
it skitters, but ever so silently.
I hate it all.
It clacks like fingernails on stone when it moves over hard surfaces.
And Eno has just
The jaw
upgraded.
parts just constantly working.
Helps.
I just remembered to upgrade my armor to studded leather now. So
Oh yes. Oh yeah,
Because
because a part of
I
this home
convinced him
invasion,
to-
a part of the
I-
home invasion was
yeah.
stealing the armor that you wanted.
He doesn't seem to have asked for any compensation yet for the studded armor. Because
Yeah.
I was like, hey, this is a security test, and
I stole
hey,
your shit, but
could you
cool.
could you get some poison off your spider? And then the other thing that I did was I healed the spider as soon as I saw it.
Because there
So that
was
was the
some
other thing I did.
fire,
Yeah,
and the spider
I
was
sort
not
of-
doing well.
I hurt the spider. I'm
You
sorry,
almost
Gus.
killed the dude's pet spider.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, also it's an enormous fucking spider, so like, I think you can be forgiven.
It's fine.
So, but it was after a pristine deception roll that allowed for this whole deception to take place. So where Hugon and Eno, tell me a little bit about where you guys are, what you guys are doing in terms of preparation for this.
I think Hugon has a plan for what to do in the future, but he has to wait until Thunuk and Renmai return. And basically, he is in the office right
Mhm.
now in the sub basement, looking at the map and marking the locations of those other ley line crossings. where
Oh,
the gates
okay.
Might be.
So for that, we need well, it depends. How are you going to choose to interact with this map? So there is the stylus that Thunuk was using. There is also just the various dials and everything that allow you to dial in and move things around.
Where's Stefan? Or Stephen?
Stephen.
Stephen.
Huff.
Ethan.
He's
Where is he?
He's working. He's got over on the one side. He's got like this writing desk. It's not very wide. He's able to like open it up, and he does his correspondence and things and close things up. And it's very high, and he's got a very high like stool that he sits on when he does this. Like he almost has to hop onto this stool to do that. So he's able to kind of direct you a little bit as to how but in order to do this, you would need to do a dexterity check for using this stylus in a proper way.
All right. Can I have assistance from Stephen?
He can direct you through, but ultimately just using it's a dex check. It's like trying to draw on a Cintiq or something.
That is I don't know what my dex is. 15 at least.
As the resident in charge person, can't he just make Stephen do
Yeah,
the
and
work?
that's kind of what I was going for. Like, Stephen, quit whatever you are doing and come do this instead. This more important than that.
Do my bidding, minion.
You peon.
It's Major Domo, sir.
Anyway, I have a 15.
Okay, so you're able to start moving things around. You're able to get the gist of it pretty quickly to be able to start like.
And like
making-
Hugon is probably like fascinated. He's like, "Oh shit, I could have used one of these 25 years ago." Like, "Oh, this is amazing." Well, there's like noting like, why is there like just a tree drawn here, or like bug is
Thunder-
written like in huge letters.
nice tree.
I don't understand.
Now, when Thunuk wrote "nice tree," he didn't mean the tree looked nice. He meant the tree was a nice tree.
Yeah, the tree was a
Very
a
polite.
kind, compassionate,
Yes.
genuinely friendly plant.
Yeah, so as you're zooming through and moving around the map, you're starting to map, you're figuring it out, but you're seeing some of the notations that Thunuk made on there. You know, interesting rock,
Moss.
duck,
Yeah, duck.
other duck.
Enormous beetle.
But there's
The
this
river giant would be on there too, wouldn't it?
the river giant. Yes, that was marked on there. There's issues with some of the scaling was still not quite corrected.
Yeah, it's not working.
There is, so when you first look at it, it looks like a beetle the size of, vaguely a Tarrasque.
Yeah.
But no, that's not right. So you're able to start making your notations for trying to remember this map as much as possible. And this is why Stephen is having you do this, because for you to try to direct him where to go on all that would not be as helpful.
And to be honest, like, he only has the mental picture that he burned into his mind.
Yes.
Of where these places is, so describing it is really kind of hard.
Yes. Yeah, it was by here. No, it's over there. It's easier. No, just give me the map. Just
fuck off.
Yeah, just so you're making your notes. Give me a perception check.
Okay. It's based on wisdom. I think that is a 16 or a 17.
Your left arm itches.
All right, and so like,
What are you doing?
I was just talking to the shop owner. His name was Joe or something. Forget.
For now, it's Joe.
I don't remember.
Armorer Joe or something.
Yeah, it's like Joe the Armorer.
Joe the
right?
Armorer.
Joe the Armorer.
Joe the Armorer. Armorer Joe. Try
so
saying that. Armorer Joe.
So I asked him to get some.
It's Regan the Regal Armorer.
To get some spider venom, and so right before I leave his shop, I take 10 gold out of my pocket and slip it into his drawer, like
Okay.
his cash register drawer. So I'm gonna do a sleight of hand check to see if I can.
All right.
I'm
first
giving
of all,
him
when you
10
say-
gold for the
I was
armor.
gonna say, when I take 10 gold, I'm like, oh god, he's gonna rob this guy again.
No,
Oh, just-
no, I'm giving him 10 gold for the armor.
Okay. Let us do a sleight of hand check.
All right. It's gonna be very slight. Oh Jesus Christ! That's 6. I rolled a
It's so
1.
not obvious.
So it's like you're like, yeah, clang! And then, like,
Yeah,
clack.
it's a total moat where it's like as you're looking at him, you're kind of like, just
Yeah, like I take 10
Uncomfortable
gold
eye-
out,
uncomfortable eye contact where the gold's out. Open the drawer,
and I
put
just drop it in.
clink, but it's like one at a time. Clink.
Yeah, clink, clink,
Clink.
clink, 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 clink.
you're just, like,
And I
staring
close
at
the
him,
door.
It's that
Clink.
super uncomfortable eye contact, and you're trying to be even not
Right.
obvious anymore. Like,
You
take
can't
my
see
money,
me,
bitch.
but you're looking right at me.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
like
Like we see each other.
clink,
But if I believe hard enough,
clink, and he looks at you and he goes, "What are you doing?"
It's for your trouble. It's for your trouble. And then, don't
Oh.
worry about it. And then-
Clink, clink. Oh, okay. People usually don't just put money in my cash drawer
Tip.
without buying something.
It's for the poison. I'm buying the poison.
Ah,
Yeah.
deception check.
Okay.
don't roll a 1.
And then there was a 1.
I'm gonna give myself bardic inspiration because I roll a 2.
Oh my- This is making up for all the 20s the other week.
That's 5-2, right? The fuck is it? Okay. Oh, phew. Okay. So that's a 15.
Okay.
I rolled an 8 on the 8-sided die.
Of course.
He believes
God.
you.
All right.
He believes you. And now you can finally break the uncomfortable, or do you maintain the uncomfortable eye contact as you
No,
leave?
I keep staring at him for like probably a minute longer than I need to. And then I
And
say,
he goes,
Yeah.
"Do like want to get a drink or something? And
It's
Like-
it's a great idea, Joe.
okay, like
Yeah.
should we
Where-
like now or should we like do that like later?
Well, how about poison first? I'll meet you at the Scarlet Harlot. I don't know what the name is.
Silver,
I
the
haven't-
Silver Harrier.
Yeah.
Great name for a bar.
But I call it the Scarlet Harlot. I haven't been there. I haven't been down. I was just like, I'll meet you at the Scarlet Harlot.
Is that near here?
It's that, it's the watering hole.
That place.
Oh,
It's the bar.
Silvered Harrier.
Right.
Okay.
I'll meet you there.
It's a
I'll meet you there.
date?
Sounds like a date, man.
Okay.
All right.
And exit.
And I keep staring at him as I back out of the
Flipping
place,
guns?
and I'm still staring at him like, Thank and
My
then
buddy.
I slowly turn at the doorway and I close the door and I walk out. And I walk towards the Silvered Harrier.
Okay.
All right, so like Hugon is like tempted, like knowing that Thunuk was the last one down here.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I swear to God, if I look at my arm, and there is a rat or a pest or like God forbid some kind of enormous spider, I'm gonna kick the shit out of this guy. And he looks at his left arm.
You see this red welt that looks very much like a zit.
Not my fault.
And maybe an ingrown hair type situation,
Okay.
like right on your arm,
Yeah.
and it itches.
Did Thunuk give me fleas?
It would be only because he thought you would get along.
Okay. We're gonna have a conversation.
And it
later.
really itches.
Yeah, well, we're not gonna touch it because it's just gonna get worse. In fact, actually, he'll be like, "Well, this is inconvenient, and I don't have time for this." He'll probably go and find that one preacher
Mm-hmm.
that he doesn't like, and actually the only preacher in town. So, what?
Preacher he doesn't like.
I can't remember the guy's name. He helped Hugon out with the ritual.
Oh.
Which consequently nobody knows about.
Oh. For many reasons.
Yeah.
Um.
And he goes, "Hey, look, do you have like some kind of magic or healing or some shit?
Ointment.
Ointment?
He looks.
Do
at
I
it.
have fleas? I don't know. Like, I don't know really who to talk to, but like, I really don't have time for this."
So, so as you leave the Silvered Harrier, you see Hugon marching, like a beeline, marching like chin out, like forward,
Mhm.
determination, making a beeline for that large communal center where you guys had done your initial recruitment, which also serves as like the non-denominational like worship area. That there's several religions that, there's the worship of several deities there. You see you see Hugon. Boom.
The place where we talk to the people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also give me a perception check.
All right. Oh Jesus! Are you kidding me?
Roll better.
That would be a 3.
A
So I
3.
rolled another 1.
Wait, is you're telling him to roll better? Or is actually telling him to roll it again?
No, I'm not telling him to roll it again. I'm just saying as
Damn it.
general.
You still fail.
Thanks for trying.
Do better.
This is me being. This is my coaching. Ready? Do better.
Whatever. I'm gonna
You
use
just gotta do less
this
bad.
die now.
do be less bad at rolling dice. Yeah, you just notice that he's beeline. Interested in something.
I'll start following him.
Okay.
So I'm like,
So, Hugon, you get to the one priest. the one who had aided you with the ritual before. You show him this ointment or something. He goes, well, oh, it looks... we should probably... I need to drain it first.
Oh, for real?
Well, just, just a little pinch.
All right. And he pulls out a dagger and just... and then, like, just grabs it and handles his own business and then wipes it off.
Well, as
Now-
you grab, something grabs back.
Explain yourself.
You take 2 points of biting damage on your hand.
What the fuck is going on? Hugon says out loud and in very, like, tense words.
So you take your
Right,
dagger.
There's a mouth on my arm.
Well, are you still covering it, or is it like because
No,
you get it
I,
and
like,
you
go,
get bit?
what the fuck just bit me? And
The best way to describe this is larval,
oh, fantastic!
Ew.
and like as you like these
Like a botfly.
like botfly, but the legs are already coming out,
Amazing.
and it's too black, too shiny.
Oh, okay. And,
And-
like Hugon goes, and like starts looking for a torch.
Well, give me a quick intelligence check,
Okay.
and Eno,
Oh, that's a very good roll. That
Yes.
is a dirty 20.
you seem to remember. This is where that one bug when you were in the Shadowfell that came from the creepypastas was able to get up in your armor and bite you.
Oh, right.
So Eno, you see this. You see him do the whole slice thing. You see, ow, does one of those, and he looks, and you see like this large bug starting to emerge from his arm.
I cast Fairy Fire.
And Hugon is like,
Because I think maybe something's invisible there or something. And I'm like,
and so now wreathed in green flame,
yeah.
Hugon is like, why would you do that?
I'm trying to help, man. What's the matter? You get something attacking you?
Points at it.
And
Look at
it's
this shit.
squirming, and it hurts.
And like Hugon is rapidly becoming more and more annoyed and more concerned.
It does
Well, the-
another 3 points of damage to your
The
arm.
bug
And he
the
goes,
bug has
"Ah!"
the bug has to make a dexterity 15 saving throw. And if it fails,
What was the number?
Dex 15.
Dex 15. Okay. Let me see. What is the stat block for enormous bug larva?
I like that you pulled out a book to try and find that out.
Listen,
It's in
it
there somewhere.
It's in here somewhere.
It's going down a very gross road.
But yeah, if it fails, then it's outlined in green light.
Green
And
light.
Oh, I need to save too, don't I?
Any
it's an
attack
area.
roll, against the affected creature or object has advantage if the attacker can see it, and the affected creature or object can't benefit from being invisible, so it
Ah.
can't go invisible.
I rolled a 19 on my dex.
All right, so you're not glowing,
not
but
covering.
this bug thing.
So now
does-
you can see it.
I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah. Do you have pliers or something?
I've got a dagger. Like,
Yeah, tried that. And so he's
oh,
he like wipes the dagger like on his leg and like puts the point into his arm and starts to try and like pull it out.
I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try and hit it with vicious mockery.
does it need a certain level of intelligence to do that?
It need not understand me.
Oh, okay.
It feels deep in its soul that it's been offended and
I
takes
say-
actual damage.
Yeah. Say, what the hell are you doing there, you stupid bug? You suck. You're the worst bug I've ever seen.
What's the save on this?
Actually, it's is there a save? Yes, wisdom 15. DC 15.
No, it does not.
Okay. So I'm gonna do 2d4 damage. So that's 3, and then I can't fucking see this is another 3, so that's 6 points of damage on the bug.
Okay, so it starts to recoil, and you hear the sound, like the sort
Oh,
of
it
screeching.
screams?
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
like a
psychic
screeching
damage.
noise. But it's as it starts thrashing about, Hugon, you additionally take 6 points of damage to your arm.
And like the whole like dagger thing isn't helping. Like
Yeah,
trying to.
It has disadvantage on its next attack roll,
Just,
It's in my arm.
but it has disadvantage on its attack roll.
just. Well, as you're digging around, you can either try to do a dexterity check to make sure you don't stab yourself as you're doing this and do damage, or you can try to do an attack roll and use that to your advantage to see how accurate you are as you're
I'll do the attack.
to
roll.
see how well.
I have advantage on it at least. Okay. That is a, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 18.
An 18.
18.
That would in fact hit. So do some damage roll here.
Oh,
That's,
yeah,
you
I
gotta.
suppose I ought to.
Yeah, I mean, if you hit it,
Daggers are D4, right?
yes, plus your strength.
Oh, well, I do 7 points of damage to it.
Okay. So as you're doing this, it's like this brownish black ichor is like starting to leak
Lovely.
from it. Very oily.
Yeah, it's awful. Like we've established that this entire experience is awful.
But now
there's
you-
not really more that you can do to offend him.
But now but now the pain is really starting to go down your arm, and you can actually start to see like under your skin, like you're not sure how far down this thing goes, but
so it's like pretty big.
well, at least long. But you can see you can see it kind of like moving under your skin. And
Okay,
it's,
so
this is
He
not.
he like I like can he like pin it with like the dagger, like keep it from moving?
You can certainly try. Yes.
And he goes, okay. Well, can we just say that like the attack is to like
Okay. Yeah.
stab
That-
it and like
okay, yeah.
from moving? He goes, all right, I need you to take your dagger and make an incision long ways on my arm so that we can.
No, I
What?
got this. I start whispering a discordant melody at the bug.
Or you and like Hugon is like trying very hard to like be calm about this because he's got a writhing parasite
And it
that
hurts.
is probably larger than his hand in his bicep.
If it
Oh, it's all
fails,
the way down into the forearm.
Like
It's
if you could just get the dagger, like that would be fine. You don't need.
if it fails a wisdom 15 check, then it has to move at the farthest distance it can away from me. And I'm standing right next to Hugon, which means it has to leave. It has to
Or
get
it has to like burrow deeper into his chest cavity or something awful.
Commandeer Hugon and run for it.
But you might also kill it. So you know, I'm down. for it.
It's either it's either going to work or it's going to take Hugon for
And
a
I
ride.
have it. I
I'm
have
gonna
it.
cast it at the 4th level.
Jesus
Oh, wow.
Christ.
Like so, he's got it like pinned and like. I have this image of like, like sort of like reprehensibly like kind of leaning forward and being like start to like sing at it. Like,
Yeah,
sing at
I
his
start
arm
whispering.
at this
If
like
it fails,
writhing thing. He's like, this is really not helpful,
Okay.
I start
what-
going. You're an awful bug, and you're gonna leave, and you're gonna die.
What's the roll that he needs to make now?
15 DC 15 wisdom. Saving throw.
He does not make that.
Okay.
throw.
Okay, that's 10, 14, 16. Okay, 19 points of damage.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Good
so
God.
it. Okay, the question is, does it die before it tries to leave, or is it just that you did so much that it just dies?
The target must be on a failed save. It takes the damage and must immediately use its reaction if available to move. So I guess it would just die.
Yeah, at order of operations was take hit point damage.
Yeah, and then
if still living,
yeah,
flee.
no, that definitely you guys did a lot of damage to this little bug, but
and
It-
my arm.
and your arm, and yeah, it there's like this final like little shudder, and then it kind of goes almost immediately into rigor mortis. Like it dies and just basically, you're almost like
So like throwing the dagger point into the wood of the chapel. Hugon like reaches his fingers in there and just kind of like extracts it.
Well, you pull
shoot.
part of it off.
Oh, oh my fucking god! Give me your dagger.
I hand him my dagger, and
so he just basically unzips and like plucks it out, and he's bleeding just kind of everywhere.
And I cast Healing Word on.
Wait until I have it all out first, please.
I know. I'll hold that. I'll hold that action.
Okay,
I'm ready.
So he like just kind of like goes.
Well, let's do the again. Let's do a dexterity roll on this because this is you trying to not pierce
Perform
anything.
surgery on myself. Actually, can we do medicine?
I'll give you Bardic Inspiration.
I'll let you do a medicine check. Yeah, that would be fine.
It's not going to be any better, but let's do it.
Whichever one you feel is the most appropriate in this situation.
Is it a D8, Ross?
Yes, add a D8.
Okay.
It's Bardic Inspiration.
Okay. That's a natural 19.
Okay.
So wisdom is medicine, so 21 plus 2 for the Bardic Inspiration is 23.
Okay, so you're able to basically and you're able to like take it down, and as you cut open, you're able to see and kind of like you're kind of rooting around, and it looks like this thing was almost like a millipede.
Amazing.
So as you're trying to like pick it out, you're only able to get like little parts of it here and there because they keep on breaking off as you're picking it.
And like, what's the priest doing?
Recoiling
like,
and
just, like-
yeah, it's kind of like
just like, oh my god.
It's like, you know that at some point there's going to be a physical reaction to this through the gullet, just right out through the craw. But at this point, he's just too stunned to do that. But as you unzip and able to pull little pieces of this out, you do another 12 points of damage to yourself.
Oh shit.
Opening yourself up this way.
Oh, I thought that the medicine check was to avoid that.
There is no way to not take damage when performing surgery.
Right, but 12 points? A dagger only does a D4.
Well, there was a long slice. It was big.
Fair.
And it's you digging around trying to pull, and as you're pulling out parts, like it's still taking little chunks of you with you. And
oh yeah, and like this is gonna take a minute, and like he like looks at the priest and is like, "Are you gonna be helpful, or are you just gonna stand there?"
I think I'm being as helpful as I can right now.
Okay, then fuck off. And so he's like plucking like this insect from another plane
it's just the sound
out of his arm.
It's the sound of wet meat every time it hits the
Yeah,
floor.
and like Hugon is like, oh Jesus, this is like the worst goddamn parasite I've had in like fucking just
weeks.
tearing out. He's like, man, it hasn't been this bad since like Chult. Just tearing out stuff.
You know Chult's got a parasite or two down there.
Yeah, I mean, at least the ones in Chult were small.
Chult's the Australia of D&D.
You could like smoke up a cigar and just handle it, but like, and like he seems like he's obviously in pain and he's bleeding a lot. But he kind of like
this is getting to be like just
point.
Yeah. I mean, the entire arm at this point covered.
It's just soaked and it's getting worse,
dripping on the floor. Give me a Constitution check.
All right. Oh, I have proficiency on these.
Mm-hmm.
That is a 19 total.
Okay, so you're able to maintain consciousness. You're starting to feel from the blood loss a little.
I would be disappointed in myself.
I would be too, to be honest with you. But listen, you can only exsanguinate so much before,
I mean, like I rolled a 23 on the medicine check, so I probably missed the important.
You did, but still blood
and nerves
and pain and things, and so okay, so you're finally able to dig out as much as you think you can out of this without really like opening yourself.
He like shows the like pries open the wound. He's like, does that look like I got it all?
And Eno says restoration and gives you 3d4 plus 4 hit points.
Oh, well.
So do you want to roll that?
I don't have enough D4s in front of me.
Here it is. What? Last one.
You heal 3d4 plus 4. You roll all ones. I get 7 hit points back.
You get 11.
Oh, okay.
And I get to step on that D4 later.
That's like almost as bad as a Lego, maybe worse.
Probably worse.
Yeah.
It's a nerd caltrop.
So you're able to kind of, like, this is still very tender and raw, even though you're able to get your hit points back. This is like a very new wound still. So it's very tender, very raw. It's still like seeping a little bit. You know, you could feel like it moving your arm hurts.
And so like, and he's like, just kind of works his arm.
But that hurts. Like the whole thing, it's like, this is like it's, you know, you get the hit points back, but there's consequences and repercussions for digging a parasite out of your own arm.
Oh, I mean, yeah, of course.
A 2-foot long parasite.
I asked the priest if he has any bandages, and then I can do a medicine check to try and help bandage that wound.
The priestess is like,
bandages.
Wanders, and he comes back, and he's just like,
don't throw open the bandages.
And he leaves the room, and you hear like there's some silence, and then you hear, it just
I hope he didn't throw
empties.
open the bandages.
And then he comes back, and there's
quit being a wimp.
Very clean bandages.
Okay.
Very clean bandages. He's looking a little green, but a little better.
Oh God, that's a 9.
So, this is you basically
not a good job.
You mummify his arm. You might have accidentally wrapped it like around his head once. Like it's
just like as soon as it starts leaving the arm, he's like,
yeah, it's like up here now, and it's like,
all right,
I will take care of this.
It's all raggedy, and is
trying to help.
Thunic, how long are you going to stay invisible, or is that something that you think would eventually calm yourself down?
That actually fades automatically, unfortunately. How long is a turn in not combat?
So it would probably be, we'll say for this sake, a couple of minutes. The adrenaline's not running, so maybe like you were only like invisible for like a minute or so.
Okay.
We'll say. So you basically pop back into visibility. You see, you're being led along here by your potato scouts. You feel Dren rooting around in your back still, trying to find you food. Drenmai, give me a investigation or survival roll. Either one of those things would apply to being inside Thunic's backpack.
I was completely distracting myself because that whole situation.
Sorry.
Investigation or
survival.
Survival. I'm going investigation. 16.
You're able to find some of his jerky down at the bottom.
Okay.
You're able to avoid the snake that lives in the backpack. Yeah, you guys have kind of reached a détente at this point. Mm-hmm. So you're able to swim back up over the shoulder.
Swim. That whole time, to be honest, I was designing a werekoi.
I love it.
So I'm like, this is gross. I'm gonna start trying to werekoi.
Brian, I'm gonna use second wind real quick.
Okay. Just.
Yep.
Well, I'm playing a song. I'm playing a song also. So if you're doing a rest, you can do extra hit die.
Oh, cool. I will roll another one. Yeah, that's a lot of hit points back. That puts me back to full.
That's a lot. I'm good.
I can only imagine.
My arm is still fucked up. But
I can only imagine like people walking by the room just hearing like this random screaming, like, "Go, you gotta get the bug! No, get the dagger! No, get out of there!"
And then they come into the room and there's like a pool of blood.
And it's like Hugon strangling this bug, like trying to get it out. Like,
so
walks in and
go back to
no, thank you.
And now I'm just playing a song, a nice soothing song.
So
actually, probably before they put the bandages on, he like roots around and finds some alcohol and just kind of dumps it on there.
Would he not even really need to root around? Doesn't he just have it on his person?
I mean, he probably has like a sugar-based alcohol, which would probably not be good, but like an actual ethanol spirit.
I'm sure you could find something. It's a church.
Yeah, I mean, it's a church.
just.
They probably do alchemy here. Sure, just dump that. I'm sure it burns like all hell.
The whole Game of Thrones boiling wine situation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but
werekoi.
Huh?
Werekoi.
What about the werekoi? Werekoi.
That's what was in my arm. The Werekoi.
Oh God.
Oh, can you imagine that? Like smaller forms swimming
Yeah,
around
that would have
your
really
arm?
sucked. That would have been
I
bad.
think that'd be more of like a brain thing.
Ooh.
But like, oh no, they're lawful good, or chaotic good. But they're like the opposite of the little things that the illithids put in your brain to convert you into an illithid.
I don't like this.
Like their natural enemy is the illithid larva.
That's pretty great.
Like if you find like the elder brain and you see all the little things swimming around in the pool, you
Dump a couple of
just
Werekoi in there.
a
and
couple
just
Werekoi in there and it's done. or you actually be one of your adventurer friends, right? Be like, no, guys, I got this, and
Never thought you'd be useful.
turn away because you don't want to see this. But anyway, Thulnik, you are now visible. Drenmai has given you some
A
jerky,
snack.
a little snack.
He's going to just sort of dazedly chew on snack and be like, and while he is trying to continue his 8-hour prayer, keep forgetting that we've only been at this for like in game maybe like 3 or 4 hours. So he still has another
4 hours. To
4
go.
hours of this thing left.
But you're probably about 4 hours away from Pinedale. So if you're making your way back, by the time you wrap up your ritualistic prayer, you would have done. So give me a survival navigation check there, because that way you could, because you're probably going to want to take a different way back to.
Well, he does want to circle
Mm-hmm.
all of Pinedale,
Mm-hmm.
so we can't exactly go back the way we came.
Yeah, so you're going to try to, but you do need to do some kind of survival navigation check, so that way you don't get hopelessly lost in the ever-shifting woods that are the Chandawood.
12.
12. Yeah, you're able to go a little bit slower than you would usually like. You feel like in this area, it seems like the Chandawood might have shifted a little bit more than usual. So give me a nature check.
Ooh. Hold on. 19.
19. Knowing what you know about the Chandawood and how it seems to have this natural defense mechanism of being able to shift its paths, almost imperceptibly so, you wouldn't be surprised if the area around this base camp, the Chandawood's like natural immune system was kicking in, making it more difficult to navigate, which is why it's taking you a little bit longer to go this other direction, because it's, even though you're friendly, sometimes the good cells get caught up with the bad cells when the
To take the medical analogy even further, the camp is like a cyst.
Oh God, I think we've given enough body horror for clues for the day.
I'm gonna sit here.
I
And
was waiting
draw
for
more
you
with
to
my
do it.
fish.
I'm just gonna draw my fish. This is
No,
really
this
cool.
is-
I hate this.
What's going to be great is all the fan art this week.
Start working on the Were Rooster.
I'm gonna have to talk to. I think I'm gonna have to
talk.
talk to Robin Childs about this one. This is right up her alley.
Ooh, it is. It really is.
So anyway, yeah. So you're able to start working your way around. You're still doing like your little prayers. The potato scouts again have vanished. Now that you're visible again, vanished into the woods. Every now and again, you see them flit. Maybe you see them flit, or maybe it was a butterfly. Maybe it was a squirrel. Maybe it was nothing at all.
Those freaking scouts.
They're very. I have to stop for a second. Scary butter knife. No, werecock is not a thing.
I mean, it can be.
It's
but
a rooster.
It can't. Right now, it's not a thing.
I had this. The chat is driving me nuts today, in the best possible way, guys. You are all criminals. Anywho,
Is
what?
it cannibalism if you eat a were chicken?
Uh,
Think on that, but let's continue.
Let's continue. We'll bring that up. That'll go into table talk. What are some of the other effects? You had said some of the things you would like to do with this are to have like maybe the old branches just happen to fall off at an inopportune time for someone passing underneath.
Yeah, old branches,
Roots
roots
grow up a little bit
grow
more
up,
gnarled.
yeah. What seemed like perfectly passable terrain is now basically just it is littered with possible pitfalls to where there are now chasms hidden by brush and stuff like that.
Where was once solid ground is now quicksand.
Yeah, that too. It's basically like you never listened to 80s movies because quicksand was not a huge deal, but now you should have listened to 80s movies because now quicksand is a huge deal.
I expected there to be more quicksand in my life.
I honestly
now
did.
There is.
I honestly did, and I have never encountered
Ask
it
and
once.
you shall receive.
Thorny bramble bushes have grown in excess to what they're used to, and now they're glistening with possible toxins and such on their thorns.
Ooh. That's right. We did talk about the plant, like the Australian plants that can find ways of making you want to kill yourself.
I was reminded actually afterwards that there is a tree here in Florida that they have to do controlled burns around, because if they accidentally catch it in a controlled burn, toxic cloud can kill you.
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
I know exactly what tree you're talking about
If you
because I thought
touch
it was Australian.
What is
You will be
that?
in pain.
Oh my
It's a
lord!
relative of the apple tree. It
And their
looks like
seeds
apples.
explode.
Yeah.
They're like not like nicely either, but like they go off like an actual bomb
Grenade.
to launch seeds as far as possible, and like the
This is horrifying.
shell is quite heavy and sharp. It's
Wow.
very unpleasant.
So you start to see some of those fruits start to blossom and grow on some of these trees. You see some of the poison ivy, poison sumac, poison thorns, just like every which way sap is just like oozing from trees.
Also,
But
if there was
stickier than usual. The kind of sap it's like you, if you've ever, there was an episode of the Muppet Show where Bunsen invented a super glue. It was the one with Gilda Radner, and he invented a super glue that got all over everyone. And by the end of the show, everyone was stuck to each other, including Gilda Radner was stuck to an enormous carrot that was larger than her, as they both tried to sing Major General from Pirates of Penzance, but got stuck to each other while doing it. But yeah, you can see it's like that kind of stickiness.
Also, he's requesting any possible. What are they called in D&D? Are they ents or treants or what?
Treants. Yeah.
Treants.
Yeah.
He's requesting any possible treants who have been hibernating, basically, to wake up and take arms.
Not an APB for treants.
Coming over to one tree and like, wakey, wakey.
You
We-
awake?
Wake up and take limbs.
God.
I like.
You awake? You awake, man?
Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. You sleeping? Drenmai, what is going through your head through this? Now you've made
Koi.
no. Besides the werekoi, we're off the body horror. So Drenmai had seen her lantern and did not immediately try to go get it. What is going through Drenmai's mind?
I'm probably like plotting in my head the best possible argument that I can to get Hugon and the crew to like go with me to try and go get my lantern. So it's like self argument, what are the boons, positives, and then I'm like, oh yeah, Marcus is there, and stuff that Hugon might have some kind of curiosities on, and I'm trying to mentally prepare what I've seen.
That thing that we've all done when you're standing in the shower and you
Mhm.
have to have like maybe an unpleasant conversation with someone, and you start
Mhm.
working out the mental chess.
Yep. Yeah, that's basically what I'm doing. Like, I got to go talk to Dad. I got to make this sound as good as possible.
Gotta sign that permission slip.
Yeah. I want to go on this field trip. So,
Listen, it's gonna be educational. I'm gonna learn
Yeah.
stuff.
I'm going to learn stuff. You could have fun too, There's positives to this.
We should totally do that trip to Hawaii because it's gonna be educational, and you should
Uh-huh.
let me go by myself. Cause
Don't mind that $5,000 figure that you see right there.
No,
That's
no.
that's
you can't put a price on education. It's,
no.
unless you're,
I'm your one
unless
and
you're in the
only
United
child.
States, in which case you can absolutely put a price on education.
At this point, Hugon is like crumpling up the permission slip. and
Yeah.
just pitches it.
So I would imagine that some of this is happening out loud, though. Drenmai sitting on Thunnock's shoulder,
Oh,
like
100%. I don't
So-
do anything internal monologue.
So Thunnock, you're hearing all, you're
Salt chowder
overhearing
in the
all of
ear.
this. You're overhearing her doing these mental gymnastics, trying to figure out the best way to convince to convince the usually the erstwhile cranky, ever practical Hugon Valander as to why they should engage in this potentially dangerous behavior.
As he is continuing his prayers, he is going to attempt to say in between words, or basically say, pray and speak at the same time. Like, there's no such ability, but he's gonna try. And he's basically gonna ask, like, did you ever figure out what the sky octopuses were all about? What are they doing?
I don't think I did I? I saw that they were pointing to like Marcus and the Dragonborn, right?
Yes, they were. It looked like somehow attached, threaded.
Yeah, but I went like full focus on the lantern, and then I think I completely forgot about the
Yeah,
Skyfire.
once you saw the lantern, all bets were off.
Well, I muted myself.
Oh.
I'm just gonna relay that. Well, no, I mean I saw that they were kind of like tentacled to the dude with the mask, and then there was Chompy Dragon guy. So maybe they had something to do with it.
That was not a ghost, wasn't it?
No.
What? Well,
Looks solid enough.
So if this were a comic book, in the bottom corner there'd be a little asterisk, and it would refer to several episodes ago when the Dragonborn was shifting between this was basically in the ethereal plane of some kind, stalking Drenmai, and Thunuk thought it was a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
So continue.
Yeah, I'd be like, it's not a ghost.
Oh, so it's not that one?
Not that I
before
saw. Well, maybe. I don't know. Maybe he has some kind of astral projection thing going on. But the one that I saw, he's pretty solid.
But you saw not a ghost.
No, not a ghost. Right? He looks normal to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, he was flesh and blood. You guys got a few licks
Yeah.
in. It just so happens that he's able to step between planes.
He's actually referring to the Dragonborn as not a ghost, because he
Yes.
doesn't know what else to call it. He's like, that's not a ghost.
So it's not a ghost.
That is the not a ghost.
Yes, but he's also extremely confused because logically, Drenmai is like, it's obviously not a ghost.
This is
so
the
he's
makings
just-
of an Abbott and Costello routine.
Yeah, pretty much. So he's basically like, so, but not a ghost. A new not a ghost. And Hugon's grandfather.
Well, yeah. How many greats, or is it just a grandfather?
It's just singular.
Just grandfather.
Just grandfather. He should still be dead, but
And
He should be dead, but he didn't look dead, or at least, well, no, he had the mask on, so I wouldn't be able to tell.
You saw him
He was
very.
walking.
You did see
He
him
was animated.
You did see him very briefly without the mask at the confrontation on the bridge.
Okay.
he doesn't look undead, which is troubling.
Okay, so he looks normal.
and your lantern and those scary laughy things and werewolves and gnolls were all in the same place.
Mm-hmm.
And the sky octopuses were there too.
Yes.
What were they doing?
Should I self-roll a perception to see if I even remember anything after
Yeah.
my lantern?
Yeah. Why not?
No.
Yeah. I don't
No.
know.
I have no
Stuff.
idea. They were doing camp. I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense.
I know. That's why we should get the guys and see what they think.
I think you're right. Mm-hmm. We should go get the guys. Also, I should take a nap. I'm tired. I'm very tired.
Hmm.
And then he gets back, and then he returns to his prayer,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
and it continues. His walk has become a stumble.
So we see after this conversation, we see Thunna continuing with his prayer, walking a little more labored, just from exhaustion, into the woods. Drenmai perched on his shoulder. Every now and again, you think you might see a potato scout. Thunna walks away, continuing touching trees as he goes, and disappears into the forest. And that is where we shall take our halfway point break in today's game. We are going to go take care of some fluid management.
Stop.
I didn't say drain the fluids.
Listen.
You just did.
I just did, but I said fluid management.
Every time we go on break, you don't have to announce that
We're gonna go pee pee.
Yeah, just don't do that. It's strange, okay?
I don't know if it might be breaking the TOS to say that.
I could actually. We
I don't
should.
know.
Well, apparently, as long as we don't sleep on stream, we're fine. So,
Okay.
anyway, we're
Yes.
going to take the briefest of breaks. We will be back momentarily with some more Dungeons and Dragons, more of the dungeons, hopefully, and less of the body horror.
Mm.
But
Or
we
not.
never know. I don't know.
Or not.
I don't know.
We'll see.
Anyway, be right back.
Bye-bye.
And we are
Hi.
back with our
Everyone
latest.
emptied of their fluids.
Parasite free.
It wasn't me. I didn't say it.
I didn't hear what you said. So
Okay, good.
So, so we were playing Shadowrun, and no.
Wow, I'm in the wrong stream.
Oh,
Call it the Cthulhu.
the Call of Cthulhu,
Cthulhu.
Cthulhu.
I'll admit,
Call of
I
Carl.
wanted to play that before.
Carl.
Always wanted to play
Or were we playing Betrayal on the House on the Hill in Baldur's Gate?
it's a very good game.
It is. It's an
Very,
excellent.
very good game.
I don't want to. Oh, I almost want
That-
to like
is that
Pathfinder game
Legacy?
at some point.
They have a legacy version coming out, I think soon. But I
For
don't know.
Baldur's or for? I know they had a legacy for.
For Baldur's, I think for soon there will be one for Baldur's.
Oh, cool.
I think.
Hey, listen, Baldur's Gate is making a comeback now. We got Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're doing right now. We are going to play some Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition as we make way for 6th edition, which is due any day now. And you have to buy all new books
Really?
and learn all new rules. No, we will not do these things. We will continue with 5th edition. So,
Books.
yes, anyway, Dungeons and Dragons, when we last left our heroes, we started the first half of today's show with a little bit of body horror. And we learned about some different lycanthropes, which we'll discuss in greater detail later, I'm sure. And we also, Drenmai made a good decision and did not endanger minors. Hugon discovered a parasite in his arm, and he and Eno successfully removed it. It was a team effort, I think, is the best way to describe what just happened there.
Mhm.
Thunuk and Drenmai were making their way back to town. Thunuk was doing his various prayers and whatnot, his rituals to help turn the Chandlewood even further against these new interlopers, defilers, as it may have been. So now, as the sun begins to finally set over the Chandlewood, a very weary Thunuk makes his way over the bridge into Pinedale. You took a very circuitous route so that we could get the maximum effect of your prayer, of your ritual. You are able to. This is one of those times where just your legs are almost feeling like stone. You're so tired from walking many, many miles.
Oh, I'm familiar with that.
And you can see the torches are being lit throughout town. You can see that there's now much work that has been done since you last left. You can see this trench that as you cross and come down over the bridge into Pinedale, you can see this trench that has been dug that kind of meanders its way up the hillside into town, and walls, berms, palisades built kind of to funnel everything in there. And you can see there's still these new towers being built. Drenmai, your attention, you see all the digging, and this is all fascinating to you because you love industriousness. You know, you like to see things being built, sometimes I imagine that Drenmai's the kind of person who just would dig a hole just to dig a hole.
Oh yeah,
Like, why are you digging a hole? Because you want to dig a hole.
because I felt like it.
It's like what you do at the beach, right? You just dig a hole. Why? Because
Diggy hole, you know?
I was literally at the beach like 2 weeks ago, and that's what we were doing. We were digging holes.
you dig. Yeah, it's what you do. You dig a hole. You see how big the hole can get.
Sometimes you find a
Hmm?
sand mite and you go, ah,
Yep.
and flee.
No, you get those little little
no, we were
sand crabs.
catching.
Yeah, little sand crabs, right? Little
I've
guys.
got lots of pictures of sand crabs.
Yeah. If you're lucky, you find like a clam.
For those who don't know, I like nothing about beaches and nothing about oceans. Those are two things that I really don't like. Now,
Oh.
I respect that they should be preserved in an environmental sense.
Well,
and-
you're dealing with some coastal kids here.
right.
So
But fuck oceans and fuck beaches.
no.
No.
That's where weird, strange predators live who do not fear us.
But at any rate, but what you immediately notice, Dreadmy Gemweaver, are the seamstresses. These new
boy.
constructions that you had not seen before.
Something new.
Something new. I think we might have insulted the blind cleric with his hatred of beaches.
He's
like,
getting his
Hi.
teeth.
I'm out. He's like, I'm out.
No.
So.
This means you need to take us on a sea voyage.
Oh, I know. Notes have been taken. But you notice, because you notice some of the engineers, folks that you've had dealings with throughout the years, because occasionally you need to have things fabricated that you cannot fabricate on your own. Of Drenmai's many skills, I'm sure she has smithed things before, but at a certain point, you have to recognize what the limit of your skill set is.
Well, yeah, my stuff is more focused on smaller things. When it comes to larger scale stuff, I'm novice. Like jeweler type stuff, expert. Bigger type smithing, still working on that.
So, but what you see here is probably a medium-sized thing. And you can see where it's got the shield, it's got this. So you see that these two things, it's basically.
I'll take that back. It's bigger than me, so
Bigger
it's
than-
big to me.
Yeah. So you see like it's a wooden shield with a slot in it. You see two of them, and then you see one of them pivot on some kind of mechanism, and you see behind it, you see them testing and cranking on this crossbow.
Does it make a noise when it turns?
Oh yes, yeah. So
Mental note.
It does that.
Fix that.
Clack,
Well, no.
clack, clack, clack,
Yeah,
clack.
it does the ratcheting noise for the tick, tick, tick,
Yep.
as you're clanking back. So that way, if you let go of it, it just doesn't immediately like fly, like unwind and like fly forward. And you can see that they wind it, and then they get to that one point where it's like it's super tight, and then you see them working the foot pedals. And the guy hits the one foot pedal, and an arrow is a large, like, what did I say in the plans? Like a 3-foot arrow.
3-foot crossbow.
A 3-foot
quarrel.
crossbow bolt is launched out of this thing, and you can see they have like various targets down in the hill away from the workers, and this thing just lodges like through a metal shield. Not a very good
Okay.
metal shield, but through it. And then he hits another button, and like this device loads the next quarrel in, and they can hear a ping, and someone else takes that one out and they put the next one in.
It pings like an M1 Garand.
Yeah.
Go, go, go.
like
ding.
yeah, like the M4s
Oh,
from
you're out of ammo? Let me
yeah,
shoot at you now.
ding. So yeah, and you can see the next one. Someone else is like loading in the next like magazine of crossbow bolts, and someone else is like taking the old magazine. They're trying to load more crossbow bolts into it, and you can see. And these all look like people from Hugon's internship program. Who are,
I'm basically like watching the whole process, taking notes of how I can make it better or fix things or just completely change it. Upgrade this, upgrade this.
Which
That
is
could
gonna be
have a
one of those-
magical component.
Like, this is going to be one of those few times where as long as it still works and as long as it still kills people, Hugon is going to let you do what you want.
Yes.
Provided you don't piss him off with this whole camp thing.
it's only a matter of
That's-
time
yeah,
before.
Those are the stakes for Dren. Is like,
That's
I have
yeah.
to be able to work on these so I can't make Hugon mad.
So you have like the
pretty
trick
much- that's why
arrows.
it's like, yeah,
Or-
well, not even that. I mean, there's magical bullshit that could be done here. I mean, these things could be magified.
Yes,
So
they could.
we could have magical arrows. You could have a extra shield force field on there. We could. I mean, I just started getting into necromancy. Let's not even go there on what I can do.
I imagine though that this is sort of like you like are somehow at some point you were just all of a sudden ended up standing next to Hugon. And Hugon's standing on top of the hill, arm all bandaged up, probably in a sling at this point, just because it's just letting it hang there kind of hurts. And he's like kind of overlooking all the work. And all of a sudden there's this Drenmai just going, "You could do this, you could do this, you could do this, you could do this."
Mm-hmm.
And I would imagine that all of these ideas would delight Hugon.
Except for probably the last one. I'd be like, that thing where we had that incident in that one place, and then you got really mad at me, and then there was a lot of sparkle and glitter involved. We could also do something like that, and we can actually attach it to the thing, and then you could launch it out into the battlefield, and then you could really confuse a lot of people.
And Hugon is like, where the fuck did you come from? He just looks down to his left, and like there's a Drenmai there, babbling.
Mm-hmm.
And like Hugon's left arm is essentially just still
my head
covered in dry blood. Like he hasn't even cleaned off yet, and he's got like fresh bandages and stuff.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't care so much. I
No.
mean, I'd probably
Funnick's just like
appear
sitting there
very
like,
safe.
Yeah, he basically looks like
Like that. Like I started talking at the bottom of the hill, and I just kind of migrated up. So it was just there was this constant noise, and now it just came more into focus. I mean, like, why do we have these?
Have what?
Those. What do we call? What do you call them?
Oh, the aeronauts.
Yeah, aeronauts.
That's what I call
those
it.
things.
But that's not what the headquarters called.
Head
But
office calls these seamstress.
that's a much better name.
the seamstress. So there's seamstresses. There's two.
Okay.
I mean, I don't
Why do we have them?
because we're going to be attacked, Dren. Isn't that why you went out into the woods with Thunuk? To figure out when and how that was going to happen?
No, I was chasing sky octopi.
Fuck is this? Oh, you know what? Never mind. Never mind. Do you have anything useful to tell me?
I found my lantern.
Which means you probably found the person who took it, too.
Yeah, that's where the problem comes in.
You don't have it, so
Mm-mm.
they still have it.
You told me not to do it, so
I'm glad that you listened to me. That seems like a rare occurrence. So, where is it?
oh wait, how far did we walk? Like Is it
In
a
a
half day?
roundabout circuitous way, it was about 4 hours to get there, but that was also with Thunuk taking a longer route on purpose so that way he could spread out the
Yeah.
effects of his.
So the camp is pretty close then.
Yeah, so it's probably only a couple hours away, so it's not too. So I'd be like, well, it took us a little bit to get back. Thunuk kind of he had a little bit of fun, and then he got tired. So it's probably only a couple hours away from here. That way.
How many? Okay, let's just go through things one by one. How big is the camp?
I pull out my little arms and like go them out like this wide.
Not
It's
helpful.
basically as far as I can see.
How many people are in the camp?
A lot.
Not helpful. Did the camp have
Marcus
any?
is there.
That is helpful. Your lantern is there.
What? Okay, we got 2 in that column.
Not a ghost is there.
Not a ghost.
Not a ghost is there.
What is the not a ghost?
The chompy dragon guy.
at this point Thunuk just collapses, like plops down like on the
right
floor.
on the floor.
Thunuk, what?
I'm tired, man.
Okay, well, go find some food and sleep then if you're tired.
I almost
gra-
picture Thunuk so tired he just falls asleep right there.
He grabs your arm and heals it. He's just like,
Hugon goes like when his arm is grabbed, like ow.
It's like when the dog wants to get your attention and just like like does that big
Yeah.
swinging front paw.
he's like, your entire arm is now in his hand, like from the elbow up. It's like, "Arr." And
Right on the wound, like, oh, okay,
Like-
that hurts.
like nice hard grasp, like that. You are probably hurting big time, and he's just sleepily casting prayer of healing and not even realizing what he's doing.
Give me an Arcana check, or I'm sorry, an Arcana check.
Arcana.
Arcana.
Stop that.
All right.
Arcana.
I mean, I don't care how you pronounce it. Just say it like that.
I was expecting horrible rolls. That was a natural 20.
Womp
Oh,
womp.
womp, womp, womp. Capybara makes a tired 20.
So a total of 21, if that matters.
Nice.
So as you heal him, you absolutely feel the taint of the Shadowfell in that wound. that whatever caused this wound was not like some normal. Oh, because you've healed him before. You've healed people before, so people get. Sometimes people get a little excited with their sharp, pointy things, and need to be, they get hurt, and you fix them. But
Mhm.
this has the stank of the Shadowfell on it. You notice there's just something different about that wound.
And this rouses him awake. Like, oh shit, this is not good. Sort of like when a horrible thing is rear its ugly head when you're super tired, and you're not suddenly super tired anymore.
Oh, look, adrenaline!
What caused this? This is
It's I
This
don't know. Did we
feels like that place that we went
probably
to.
would have like kept its pieces because like this is a new experience. Like put them in a jar, like
To put on your mantle.
well no mainly to like hey head office what the hell is this thing, or Stephen do you know what this is?
So yeah, it's been put. Yeah, so you guys probably put it in a large bell jar with like or like a large like mason jar with the preserving fluid. There's I'm sure you could find someone somewhere brews something in town that's used that would be like the D&D equivalent of formaldehyde. Hell, it might just be like a bad batch of whiskey for all you know. It just
Yeah. And like it's down in the head office, weird insect thing. You remember how I got stung back in the Shadowfell when we were there?
I don't remember that, but yes, this is from there.
One of those things got under my armor, stung me. I guess decided to plant some eggs, or at least one egg. Probably more than one.
A lot of those stung my face and
Yeah,
stuff.
but I don't know. I like this one. We couldn't get to it.
Oh,
and it
I think
wasn't.
it had-
And his face, let's face it, isn't warm, dark, and moist.
so it was probably not a sting, but
Probably more of a ovipositor. Well,
yeah.
Hugon doesn't know what that word is.
But that might be actually one of the big words that like Thunic knows.
Thunic might know because
Like,
yeah.
I know what that is.
Oh, that wasn't a sting. That was its ovipositor.
Oh yeah, that was his ovipositor.
Horse, duh.
I imagine there's sort of like a moment where everyone just sort of stops and turns at Thunic like, really?
The hell was that? Yeah, where did that come from?
That's a big word.
Also, you get what was it? Math 9 plus 4. You and everyone within 30 feet of us gets 13 points of 13 hit
Nice.
points.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
I'm full health, but like, I'll take whatever
So-
healing you give me.
So they all get 13 points or 13 bonus points?
13 hit points. This is not bonus points. So
Oh,
this is
okay.
yeah. It would be super cool if it was like extra hit points, but no.
Suddenly, like some of like those fingernails that got bashed by a hammer are healed.
Mhm.
Paper cuts or the little splinters like eject themselves from people's fingers.
I was still low on health from something, so I'm glad to have those 13 points.
What did
that
you
also,
get? What did you get? Well, maybe was it from the
I
Null
don't know.
battle?
I was down to 26, so I obviously haven't slept. So I'm fine with that.
But yeah, your arm is red as rain now, except for the fact that it has the taint of the Shadowfell.
Yeah. Well, that is that gonna go away?
Will that go away? Let me ask. And then he basically starts praying, and he starts asking Winter some very pointed questions about does the taint of the
Bringing
shadow
Winter in for a
Wait.
curbside consult.
Yeah, pretty much. And he's like, I don't know if if these sort of things go away. Do I make them go away? Can they go away on their own? Is this like puberty or something like that, or stomach poisoning?
Puberty or stomach poisoning.
And Hugon is like hands on his hips, like looking at Thunic, like, if you weren't effective at what you did, this would be so much harder to bear.
So he's specifically asking for Winter about puberty because that was an ovipositor. That might not be the baby. You might be the baby.
Okay. What does Winner have to say about this?
Further testing is required.
That's it?
That's the impression that Thunuk would get off of that. Further testing is required. Or Magic 8 Ball, not enough information.
I have to go look at the thing that came out of your arm, but I'm super tired, so I'm gonna go get some sleep first.
Okay, well go back to the office, sleep, eat something, and then we have to have a talk about what we're gonna do the rest of this time that we've got left. Clues or Drenmai and you finding the camp is good, and we might need to do something about it.
Oh, the camp. Yeah, he quickly draws in the dirt in the ground, like it's there, like precisely where it's located. He's like, I'm gonna go sleep now.
Okay.
Eno.
Eno is looking through his journal. Like he's stopped playing the Song of Rest, and he's looking through his journal, and he's trying to find. He finds the page where he wrote down the song that he played with the tree, and in the Shadowfell.
Yeah.
And he's trying to determine if that song could potentially be used to send this dark disease to try and exercise Hugon, to try and cure Hugon of his ailment. So he's like making notations, and he's trying to remember how the song went, and he knows that he'd have to have the other parts of the song, and he's able to reproduce music using spells and things like that, and he could use the whisper jar as well to create other parts of music to play along with. And so he's trying to work all that out, and he doesn't even know if it's going to work, but he's just like, that's what he's doing right now. He's trying to fill in the blanks from that sort of
So,
ensemble.
yeah, it would not be a performance check because it's not you actually performing. So it would be
Music theory check.
music theory check, which would fall under.
Oh, sorry, planar music theory.
Oh yeah,
Sorry.
that's a whole different thing. So that would probably be some kind of. I would say that'd probably be like some kind of intelligence or arcana check.
Okay.
An arcana.
I'm gonna use Bardic Inspiration as well. So let's see. Okay, that's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Nice.
You think that were you able to get back to the world tree, that there might be some element of the song that would resonate with the affliction. You don't know exactly how it would resonate. You're not exactly sure how all those pieces. You would need to spend more time analyzing the sheet music, analyzing the chord structure, the harmonies, and how the whole symphony came together. You would need to speak. It's not just like a one. Hey, I solved it. Oh yeah. You can't just reverse the tachyon field on this one and fix it. You need to, you're gonna have to spend some more time. But you think you might be onto something.
Okay. So I tell Hugon that we might be able to fix this, but we have to get back to the world tree.
We have to go back to the place that spawned the bug and possibly deal with more bugs to get this fixed. Essentially, is what you're saying. Is that a yes?
Probably.
Probably. Okay. Well, I mean, it's not going to matter if we all die anyway, so we can handle that after the siege.
And as you guys are talking, Joe, the armorer, comes up with 2 buckets, 2 pails.
Oh yeah,
Of
did I
what?
mention? Joe is going to get us some poison? That's,
Oh,
He says
more bug related
He
things.
says I got.
Thanks, Joe.
He says I got the poison.
Joe, thanks so much. Hey, are we ready for that drink?
If you're ready.
Let's. Where's this poison need to go, Hugon?
This poison, I want it at the seamstresses. I want
Okay.
those corals very carefully coated in it.
Oh, you're launching poison arrows.
Yeah, what did you think it was?
I thought you were
for?
dipping the caltrops you had being built.
Oh,
Well,
that's
that's the
gonna happen
original
too.
idea.
I didn't expect 2 buckets.
It's a big spider.
It's a big spider, and all you need with the corals is just the broadhead. So you just go boop, done, and you do that for however many corals we have. That shouldn't take more than 1 bucket, and then with the other bucket, we just coat the caltrops with. That'll be great. Effective use of poison.
So
It couldn't be easier.
Couldn't be easier.
So I direct
with
Joe
Poison Beyond.
over to the seamstresses, and I kind of help them take the buckets over there, take the bucket to where the caltrops are, and get the workers to start coating the arrows and the
Carefully.
caltrops. Yeah,
Carefully. I'm going to be
careful
very
with this. This stuff is really potent. Seriously, it's really good. So, but
No,
it's really
bad.
it's really potent. So be careful with it and save some for me.
He's like, oh, make sure this is the good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
if
good.
you can just send the buckets back to my room when you're done, I'll just
Like a little
I'll
kid.
take care-
It's like right after you're done
I'll clean
making
'em.
cake, you gotta lick the batter out of the bowl.
Yeah. I'll clean them. Don't worry about it.
Our tiefling is addicted to spider venom. This is fantastic.
Oh, God. He's gonna get the resin off the bottom. That's its own product. That's its own thing.
He's gonna
Maybe.
splinter the buckets and make wood chips and then burn them, inhale it.
So Joe leaves the buckets and he goes, okay, shall we? Off to the.
Yeah, let's go. I don't have a lot of time, so I gotta get some rest too. Cause
just
we
one
got a
drink.
big day. Yeah, just one drink.
Just one drink.
So let's go to the Scarlet Harlot.
It's the silver hair. We don't have.
Oh yeah,
that.
I'm sorry. I keep
That's-
forgetting.
Isn't that a
They
place
should
in
call-
Waterdeep?
Maybe that's why I'm calling it that. You know what? I bet you're right, Joe.
Uh,
I think that might be a place in Waterdeep. Yeah, Scarlet Harlot. Anyways, let's go have a beer.
all right. What's your poison? Haha.
That's very good. I'm gonna have to write that down. That's really good. He writes it down in his journal.
He's like, no,
So,
seriously, I'm writing that down. That was a good one. It was
That was a
Good.
good pun.
well timed. So you and Joe go off to have your drink. What kind of conversation would you have with Joe?
I would ask where he got the spider. Did he train the spider? I'd ask a lot of questions about the spider.
About the spider. So he says,
Yeah.
well, it sounds cliched, it sounds trite, but the spider followed me home from work one day. I was out in the Chandlewood and I was doing some work. I think I was actually gathering some saps for resins that I needed for some of the armor making process that I do. And there was this large dead spider. And I think maybe one of the watch got her. Just because, it might have gotten someone on the path. And so you always check. You find something dead in the woods and you want to make sure that, there are any parts we can use. We don't want to let anything go to waste. And during the course of that, that it's got a little furry back and this little baby furry guy came along. And my first response was to, step on it. But it just looked up at me with these big black spider eyes, and I was just like, I couldn't do it. And so I just left it, and it scurried home after me and kind of just moved in. And so
you
Yeah.
imprinted on it somehow.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess, and he's been pretty tame. He only really, you know, I keep him well fed. You know, every now and again you got to throw a chicken into the room. You know, we built a little. You know, I built him a little trap door so that way he could have his little, you know, he could play his games. You know, but you know, it turns out he's a pretty good security system. You know.
Yeah. Has he ever bitten you?
Every now and again, when he was younger, he would bite me, but now he knows. Now it's just more like little love nips. He doesn't really, you know, he doesn't get me the way that he used to.
I'm picturing, since you said the animal stuff, a spider in a hamster ball kind of thing.
Like rolling around because a baby
You're
spider.
rolling around.
Like rolling around, like you know, when customers are there and you get bumped in the ah. Well, he needed to get his exercise, you know, and so, you know, he keeps the
Good
rats.
socializing.
Yeah, he's been pretty well socialized. You know, he does well. He keeps the rats out. You know, we don't have any vermin in the house, and in the shop it's clean. Anything comes in, it doesn't come back out. You know, he takes care of it.
Is this well? Listen, I was thinking about taking up leatherworking. I just got my my leatherworker kit. Maybe you could give me a few pointers sometime. You know?
Oh sure, yeah. Swing by the shop. You know, and see what we can do.
Awesome.
Cool.
So, you know, I was thinking about like, man, maybe if I make some armor with this guy, it'll be like a job. I'll be like, I have like a second job and I can make more money because I'm not making any money right now, and I'm gonna have to start playing in bars again. I gotta get some more money. So he's like, his wheels are kind of moving around. Like, I can get more money, man. It's ridiculous.
Dude, if I drive Uber, I'll make a fortune, and I won't have to.
Yeah. So I think Eno would probably finish up by like maybe playing a song for the bar before he goes to sleep, and
Sounds good. So you get up there and you do like a little, and he kicks back. You know, he has his drink and he listens, and he's very present. Let's get a performance check. Let's.
Okay. I'm gonna sing a song about spiders. Yeah, and it's called
spider.
it's called Venomous Escapades is what the name of the song is.
That's like a
Fucking-
punk band.
That's a 19 plus 10, so that's a 29.
Excellent.
It's a 29, and so I've got my my prestidigitation going with the drums, you know, the drum backup, and I'm playing I've got the whisper jar. What's the beady? What's
Buck.
his name? Buck. Yeah, I've got Buck in there, so I like play something into the Buck, and then Buck repeats it while I play something in harmony with
You
it,
have
and the
a
drums are
feud
going. Yeah, there's like this whole like round, you know.
Have you
this whole
seen that
thing
where people
going.
do that, where they do like the sampling and they'll record something and they put it on the repeat and they record the
Yeah.
next thing and they do like an entire concert that way? Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
that's
very
kind of what
cool.
I'm doing. Yeah.
Oh, it sounds awesome. You got everyone in the bar is listening to you now. There's more than one person in the bar right now because let's face it, when you're facing impending doom, what are you gonna do?
Right.
Drink and eat. These are the
So I
things.
play
sex.
like this 15-minute song. It's just I just go up there, I play for 15 minutes, and then I go, thank you.
Some coppers and a couple silvers are being thrown up on stage for you.
Did Eno just become Faerun's version of Spiderbait?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's a band.
Oh,
Because I mean, you were Spiderbait.
literally.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, I thought you guys would get that. Fell a little flat. It's my bad.
It's okay.
It's all right.
Can't always land them.
So, Thonik, you went to sleep. Did you just like fall asleep where you were, or did you crawl yourself into a bed? More specifically, did you get yourself into your own bed or someone else's bed?
His own bed, because there is no other bed in this place can handle his mass.
His bulk.
And the fact that he has a bed is just like, wow, man, this bed's big enough for me.
Yes, a little moment there. Every time he gets into his bed, I have a bed.
He walks in and he's like, bed.
He legitimately forgets every time.
Yeah, pretty much. He pats it very nicely, turns it down, pats it some more, and he grabs his pillow. and he's gone. He's out.
So
Like a
Dren,
stone.
so Drenmite, what is the pitch that you are going to give to Hugon now?
Yeah. So, after like the babble nonsense and Sanuk going off to sleep and everything, be like, so
Yes.
your grandfather's there.
Yeah, you
And-
said that.
Mm-hmm. He's not dead, like you said he was.
I am also aware of that.
You should we should definitely find out what's going on with that, right?
I think that that's a good idea.
He had
Get
some
to the
magic.
part, get to
eye
the part
occupied-
where you're going to tell me something I don't want to.
No, she's just laying the groundwork now. This is all.
Let's skip the stuff that I already know, and let's go to the
You have
part
to-
where you ask me to do something stupid.
Build it floor by floor. Just
Uh-huh. Like, well, they had, there's a camp, and there's some people there, and there's some were creatures, and they have my lantern, so that's always a good thing to probably try and retrieve so that I don't blow up everything. And wait, did I see anything where I would think that Hugon? Let's see, what did I see specifically that Hugon doesn't know about?
intelligence check. So
Okay.
try to remember.
Yeah, like I got super distracted by my lantern.
Hey, things happen.
Where'd my character sheet go? There
I
it
don't
is.
know. But D&D Beyond makes it easier than ever.
Okay, so I need to add 3. Okay, so 22.
Ah, okay. So you would estimate, from what you can remember, there were many gnolls. You would figure there's more than 50. Some.
Maybe under exaggerated how many people were there to Hugon earlier. Okay.
So there's like 10. There's only like 10 gnolls.
It's a group of people.
One of the gnolls was a lot larger.
That's right. There was big Knoll Boy.
Big Gnoll boy. That had like these weird dog-like creatures with almost like human-like faces that were mimicking the sounds of people screaming, walking around
That's
with
right. Okay.
You did notice a couple of the gnolls that were basically just walking skeletons with like the bits of flesh hanging off of their
Okay.
bones.
So I'll like go through my memory and maybe just because I'm small, things appear to be bigger all the time. So maybe it's not actually as big as I think, but it actually is bigger than I think. So, there were some gnolls. There were some really big gnolls, not just like big for me, like big gnolls.
Okay.
And then there was this one, he kind of looked a little different, and then he had these like almost pets with him, and they were puppies, but they had like weird face features, and they were mimicking screaming. There was some weird stuff going on with that. I don't know about all that. And then there was these like zombie looking ones, and they were kind of walking around, and they were all skeletonized, and they were just sitting there doing their thing. And then as I was scanning around, and they were all kind of doing their thing, and I don't know if they were actually trying to accomplish anything, but everyone was just kind of milling around, and I got really focused on my lantern, and then there was just all this stuff going on, and then the screaming, and then the gnolls, and then your granddad was just chilling out there with the Dragonborn with the Sky Octopi going on.
Okay, what do you want?
Well, I want to go get my lantern back. You totally want to talk to your granddad.
No, I want to kill that thing.
Well, that's fine, too, I guess.
Also,
Also. Maybe ask him why he's alive, and then you could kill him.
You want your lantern back.
I want the lantern.
You really want. That's what you want. You want your lantern back. You can.
There's some screamy stuff
you,
going
you
on.
don't care.
No.
I am gonna tell you no, unless you can give me a good reason to go out there, because we have a city to defend and all the people in the city to defend, and I'm not going to commit to some sort of half-assed plan to go get something back that you really, really want.
When I was looking at the camp, did I see them did it look to me like they might be coming to attack the town, or were they like doing something there and they weren't going to move?
They were planning. It looked like, I mean, as chaotic as a Knoll encampment is, it's not beaten ordered. But you do seem to remember what your lantern was sitting on.
Okay.
So there is the table in this tent, the kind of like executive tent, the main tent, and
Greater tent.
that's where you saw Marcus and Not a Ghost.
Not a ghost.
Yes, and if you say it fast enough, it almost sounds like a wizard name, like Not a Ghost. So then you've got the table, right? And then on top of that table, you had your lantern. But in between, sandwiched, as it were, between your lantern and the table, was a large map with various little things on it, like little meeples, essentially.
They look like they were planning. So where the lantern was, I got really focused on that area, and it was in a tent, and it was on a map, and it was on a table.
Okay, so
and map did I don't know, how far away was I? Would I be able to determine like if it was a map of the town or a map of our
You were
county?
too far away for that. You were close enough that you could recognize your lantern at a couple 100 feet, but
I can at least gain from it that there's some plotting. So yeah, I'll try and roll into that. Like, well, it doesn't look like they were staying where they were. So
war camp. I assumed that was the case. They're preparing to come to town.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So shouldn't we not have that happen?
You want to go hit the camp because you want your lantern.
It's a surprise attack.
But you want us to go to where they live.
Besides the point.
It's a bonus feature.
It's a bonus action. It would totally be beneficial for us to jump on their area because they were downhill from us, right? So we would have had the uphill advantage, being able to attack down into that valley. Strategic thinking on Dren. I say that out loud.
Hugon is not impressed.
No, but I am. There was lots of shrubbery around. They were in an openish area, so we would have total, the surprise attack. And think if we did it at night, I could set it on fire.
That might actually be useful. That's the first useful thing that you said.
And I could shatter the ground, so I could probably make it rough terrain on them so they wouldn't be able to move very fast.
I'm just trying to imagine the wanton destruction with our 3 spellcasters and what they've done so far. If all 3 of them were to focus on a strategy of how much destruction could be wrought in the course.
Yes. I'm also excited about the fact that if I got to just unleash all holy hell on some area.
So here's what we're gonna do, Dren. We are gonna attack the camp.
Yes. And
we are not going into the camp.
Okay. Can I go into the camp?
No.
Counterpoint. We go into the camp.
Because if they capture you, it's going to be a problem because they'll then have you and the lantern. Though they'll probably just kill you, which would be less of a headache for me. But we need you alive to protect the town. This is what we call a raid. So we're going to go cause as much destruction as we can, We're not going to take anything. We are not taking anything. We're disrupting them.
But I
Shut your mouth.
blink
Shut
into
your
it
mouth.
out of existence.
There is not a universe that exists where I'm going to agree to allow you to infiltrate a camp. Can you turn
What?
invisible? Because that's the
No,
only
Cam.
way that that's going to happen.
Wait, does Hugon know that?
What?
That you can.
That Thanuk can go invisible?
Yeah.
Thanup
Okay.
can't do it on command though,
That's
and
true.
that's a predator-prey response.
But I could go to a whole other realm.
Listen,
Like
listen to
plane
me
of
very listen to me
existence.
very carefully. No,
Eno has invisibility because he turned you invisible in the.
That's
monk
also
thing.
true. I'd be like, and Eno can go invisible. And Eno could turn me invisible.
we're
and then
not
get the lantern
turning
because
you
they're
invisible.
gonna use it. They
Yes,
could
they
use
are,
it
which
for
is why
princess.
we're going to try and kill them first. You're
Oh,
not
so we
going
can
into
kill them.
camp. You're not going into the camp.
But
Is
if
there
we
anything
kill
that I
them
can
all,
do?
then I could go into the camp.
What?
If we kill them all, then I can go into the camp.
We're not going to be able to kill them all. We're going to kill them as much as we can, do as much damage as we can, and then we're going to leave, come back here, and then they're hopefully going to assault us, and then we can kill them all. If
But what if they use the lantern against us?
can they?
Yes. Do I actually know that, or am I just bluffing right now?
Deception check.
Oh, wait, deception.
Deception.
Okay. Ooh, but 16. I don't get to add anything, but it was a decent roll.
I roll insight against that.
Insight against deception. Yeah.
All right, that's 16. Is that meet? Is this a meet or beat kind of thing?
What was it? Is it a tie?
Yeah.
I have 0 to my deception, so I didn't get to add
You
anything.
you don't know. I mean, you think it's not.
I don't
like,
really know how deception works. In
I would
that.
say in this case, because if it were just where she beat you, it would be like, okay, fine, you believe her, or you don't. I think it's a case of where you think that she might be telling the truth, but it's not like
Not with actual knowledge.
yeah, it's she might not be giving all the information, but you're pretty sure that she's not 100% lying. Because if
This
you
is just
don't
perfect
know,
spot to put Hugon in.
because if you do not know, you can't lie.
It's not true at all.
Plausible deniability. If I don't know that they can't use it, they could use it.
It is a focus of power. I can add that. And there were sky octopi, and I don't know anything about that yet.
Keep bringing that up. Like,
Yeah.
what is a
What do you
sky
think we were
octopus?
chasing? They were the little tentacles coming. Remember when I was a plant?
Yes. What does that have to do with anything?
So when you're a plant, you're susceptible to the sun. You know, that's how they do food. I'm not going to photosynthesis with you. Jesus, read a book now.
Come on, let's maybe get to the important part because you're not really making a good argument.
It was blocking out the sun. So when I came back and I was kind of doing my little, magical stuff, and then that's what I went chasing in the forest. There's lots of sky tentacles coming from like the sky, and I thought it was the sun, which I thought was made out of cheese, but it's not actually made out of cheese because it wasn't coming from the sun. It was coming from the distance. Tanook and I followed the sky tentacles, and it was attached to your dead, not dead granddad, and not a ghost, dragon, chompy guy.
It's still daylight, right?
It's
It was
getting.
still daylight, wasn't it?
The sun was just starting to set at this point.
So like Hugon like leans outside and like tries to perceive the sky tentacles, and obviously he can't.
Mm-hmm.
So then he leans back in and goes, "I don't see any tentacles, Dren."
Because it's magic.
Great. So it's magic that only you.
That was like the teenager.
So it's magic that you can see that nobody else can see.
Well, but
Hey,
I
Eno, why don't you come here? Eno,
I didn't see it first.
Am
was
I
a
there?
plant.
Sure.
we're in the Silver Harrier.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
you are now.
I just got off the stage. I just played my song,
It
and
might
I'm
have been
like,
like you actually left for a minute, and then you come walking back in. As soon as you walk in, come over here. Oh shit! What did I walk into?
Okay, and I come over.
Hey, you can you go outside real quick and see if you see any tentacles coming from the sun for me?
Oh,
Not
sure.
Sun.
Just real fast.
Just that. Well, it'd be. I'd have to point the direction now because the sun, I'm sure, is setting.
What time? Yeah, what time of day is it?
It's getting to be towards sunset, so you're probably getting
All right.
towards 7-ish.
Yeah, apparently there are sky tentacles, and Dren
have-
seems to think that they're.
Oh.
Oh no, we lost.
Thunic.
Arthur is gone.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Hang on, let me fix our. Oh god. Oh god.
Are we all over
Is
the
that I'm the
place?
host now.
Uh,
Are you
I'm the
the
host.
DM?
add source. Hang on,
Wait,
I
who's the DM?
gotta turn our. Hang on, add source.
Well, okay, so Brian's head is still the DM.
Yes.
Just this corner.
This is just a temporary fix. I'm sure he'll be coming back momentarily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Florida man got a
Uh,
hold of his internet.
So, turns to Dren and says, "Is the whole or the cheese? Was it the cheese?"
It was. I thought it was the cheese, but it's not the cheese. So
Oh.
I want to. Can I do my Arcana check to see?
No,
Can I still see like
there's no Arcana
the tentacles
checks.
from where I
There's
am?
no more Arcana checks
Oh,
in
okay.
D&D. This is 6th edition now, and they've eliminated.
Okay.
it. No,
They've
it's-
eliminated Arcana. We're screwed.
Yeah, it's
Well,
all.
I got a 21.
It's the pirate version, so it's Arcana checks now.
Arr.
21. So yeah, you're able to kind of see. You're able to pick out where these arcanic threads are.
Okay, so I'll do that like mom thing where you grab their head and kind of like turn their head to focus the direction.
But I would've-
I'd be like, hey, look
But
this way.
yeah, but you're 3 feet
Yeah.
tall, and he's like a normal sized person.
Well, yeah, I'm like climbing up onto like a
Grab him by the
nearby
horns.
stool or something.
It,
Yeah, and like look this way, and then do that hand thing, like yeah, yeah.
If I have advantage on intelligence checks, would that include Arcana? Because Arcana is an intelligence.
I would
check?
say
That would
so,
be
yeah.
Arcana checks. Like an intelligence check is just a raw
It's
check.
just straight.
Yeah.
It's not gonna help probably. All right, fuck it. All right, so I look up and I get 16 Arcana.
A 16.
Yeah.
You are able to pick up, like, hang on, I'm trying to fix the
Okay.
thing
Yeah,
again.
sorry about that.
No. Listen, these things happen. Just never ever let it happen again. Hang on, everyone. We're playing musical chairs for just a moment here while I fix.
The Nook died.
Oh no! No more capybara.
The pigeons revolted.
Top of my head, you're seeing the top of my head. Top of the morning to you. No, it's the top of the head to you.
Anyway,
Okay.
there we go. Yes. So you are able to get kind of like a fuzzy feeling as to where something might be. You're not as like it's
Wait,
not,
your eyes really hard.
Yeah, it's like where Drenmai can like see if you can see these things. Like you're sensing it with your arcanal abilities.
Say Arcana.
TOS.
Don't do that.
So
Where she's able to pick out these filaments, it's more like for you. It's like more, if you were to see these same filaments without wearing your glasses.
okay.
So
I
it's
take my glasses off.
I do like the squiggly line in the sky. Be like, see that right there?
I see there's something, but
Ha!
I can't.
Right at Hugon.
It doesn't explain to me what they are.
I don't. Yeah, I don't.
No,
It doesn't look like it's made out of cheese, though.
no. I think
if that helps at all.
Doesn't.
Takes out some cheese from the bar. Picks a piece of cheese up from the bar and eats it.
So here's the situation. Drin wants us to go get her lantern back, and she's tried basically to sell that with the idea of we're attacking the camp. Now, in principle, I'm not against attacking our enemies, but I'm not going to risk all of our lives and the lives of everyone in town by fucking this up for one lantern that no one else really particularly gives a shit about. So, what do you think of doing a raid on the camp?
Well, how big is the camp?
She has no idea.
How How many people are in the camp?
She has no idea.
Oh,
Probably 100.
What?
Let's just gonna go with 100.
Okay.
okay. Because if it was 500 feet, I can sneak in there, grab the lantern.
That's
And they wouldn't
it's
be
a
able to
technical
get
term.
me.
Cause chaos, and they'd be like, "Oh my god, we."
They wouldn't be able to get me.
And how would you do that?
I can do this thing where I can think about a place I want to go, and if it's within a certain distance,
Okay. And how would you sneak in?
I can make it so they can't see me.
And what if
You can go invisible.
what if they can see you when you do that?
Then they will.
And it will be a problem, won't it?
Maybe. You never know.
Right.
Hop into
Oh,
the-
this is probably going to be the only time I say this, but I kind of wish we had Laura Alyssa here with us still.
Well, and I'd have to rest. I can't do it right now. I'm like, I just performed. I did a whole thing. I'm really tired.
When could you?
I need to get back down to 0. Just to...
Yeah, I just,
'Cause we need to do it tonight if we're going to need.
I can't.
Well, I mean, tonight, like at 1 or 3 in the morning or something like that.
Maybe.
dark time.
Yeah.
You
Zero
need a full
dark
rest
30.
to get back.
I need to.
Well,
I'd
if
say-
it's not sunset yet,
I need to take a sleep.
we did it at 3 a.m. That'd be 8 hours.
As long as it's dark.
Yeah, it'd be dark.
And keep in mind that that's not really going to save us too much trouble. I'm pretty sure Knowles can see in the dark.
Then should I set everything on fire? Does light hurt?
Fire is going to happen. Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, whilst we are waiting for Eno, do you think you could make up some bombs?
Poor DM. Yes.
I mean, or alchemist fire, or whatever you want to call it.
Uh-huh.
Good.
I make a boom boom.
Just throw the book. Just throw that book out the
fuck it,
window.
we're just not using this anymore. Well, that was a crap investment. Just get rid of all these. Just...
Yeah. Just use your arcana.
So, get some rest. Thunic will be up probably the same time you are.
I've already
don't-
left for my shop.
Good.
Can you make explosive?
Explosion bullshit.
I mean, it's alchemist fire. I mean,
So Eno's gonna go take. Well, why not a long rest?
Yeah.
Drenmai, we're gonna come back to in just a second with her
Okay.
tinkering skills. Hugon, what's your plan for the evening?
try and figure out where the camp is based on Thunic's drawing in the dirt
Mhm.
by using the map
Okay.
in the basement, the
So,
sub-basement.
so you head down into the basement, and you're able to, as you're starting to make adjustments, you're trying to pick out the different landmarks. Let's do this. Give me a survival check.
Oh, shit. It's a 16 on the die plus wisdom, I think.
Yes.
I think I'm trained in
Well, a 16 would still be enough.
18 total.
Yeah, that would be the 16 would be sufficient. You're able to figure out from what he drew with the various landmarks. You're able to match up the topography pretty well. Thunic's actually gotten pretty good about drawing maps in the dirt
Mhm.
with a stick, and have it
Or
enough,
stickers.
or whatever he can find. As long as he has a right, it's when he uses his fingers when it just leaves these giant troughs in the ground. There's just too much, to.
Mhm.
But he's able to get you a pretty good reckoning of where it is. And so once you do that, you're able to lay that into the map, and you can see that it's probably 2 hours march. But, and there is a but, it also looks like very nearby you can see an intersection of two of the ley lines. So it's possible, from what you've known so far, that there could be a gate near closer to that,
Okay.
which would put you mere minutes away.
Well, I guess we need to figure out if there's a gate there or not.
Sounds like you better had.
And everyone that I know who is good at that is asleep.
So we could fast forward a few hours to wakey
Well,
time.
Hugon is like trying to decide like if he's going to break one of his own personal rules and maybe employ the Potato Scouts for this purpose. But like, that's a bad thing.
I think it'd be so funny. It'd be like this dark secret he carries around with him. That's like,
I don't know if Hugon has that kind of willful level of child endangerment in him. Probably not. So what we'll do is
the dirty laundry in the corner says we could find it.
get out of my basement. Don't come down here without asking.
6 Potato Scouts get up and leave.
Yeah, exactly. Stop.
They're starting to seem less like very ingenious scouts and more like some sort of devils who are there to make deals with us.
They're fiendish.
Lead us astray.
Yeah. So
We can do it for you.
don't talk like that.
It
Get out of my
only
basement.
costs your soul.
And he picks them up. Get up the stairs. So what we'll do then is we will essentially just wait until Thunuk would be the one probably to talk about this since this is a line crap.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll wait until he wakes up and then we'll have a discussion with him.
Okay. So we're gonna.
Did Tadel Swift actually end up going to the monastery?
No,
like I
because so far the
commanded?
only person who can open up the portal, use the gate is Thunuk, and he was off in the woods doing his thing. So she was still helping with building things, knowing that the orders are that once the gate is open, that she needs to vacate town.
So if that's the case, I'm gonna go find Tadel Swift
Mhm.
and rather after Thunuk is awake
Mm-hmm.
and first pen a letter real quick, an official request for aid to the Fieldersons.
Mm-hmm.
When Thunuk is awake, wake up Tadel Swift, bring her back over to the Silver Terrier, and get her through the portal, essentially, because that's her mission now.
To see if there's an actual gate.
No, to go to the
Oh.
monastery
Oh, the
and
monastery.
collect the Fielderson.
We're gonna come back to that in a second.
I'm gonna not endanger several children, just one.
just this one who's actually kind of competent, but Drenmai.
I've been studying.
What would your process be for making your explosives?
So I'm going to be back in my shop and I'm going through. My first idea is that I kind of want to have, since I can't do so much of my magic without it going awry right now,
Mm-hmm.
if I can contain said things, this would be perfect. So my first one is I'm going to try and contain my shatter spell into little spheres. And it takes like a chip of mica and stuff like that. So I'd have to have a bunch of like my little mica and I'm putting that in there and then I'm focusing on it. And it's an instantaneous. And so yeah, I'd be constructing that, putting the mic in and be like, okay, shatter. And then like all the force goes into it if I can. And then I try and like seal it up and contain it. So that way when it's thrown, that's when it erupts. And then it does like 10 feet of spherical damage.
So you're
This is
basically
far more complex than Hugon was anticipating.
I know, but
so you're basically making a magical nitroglycerin grenade.
yeah. And then
Jesus.
non-magical objects that is being worn or carried also take the damage if it's in the area. So there's like all kinds of destructive things that could go on with the camp.
Well, let's do the first thing is let's do a tinker check to see how
Okay.
many of these vessels you can construct.
I'm glad I have advantage. She just went straight up D20s.
Yeah.
Okay, Well, that's good. I have advantage. Much better. My first roll was a 1. My second roll was a 20.
Like a nat 20? Did we blump on that?
I blomped on it.
Woo. Womp womp womp.
Nice. I like the pin. It's good. It's upside down.
It's okay. It's okay. There's many ways to blump.
There are.
Don't blomp shame.
What? Making him aware.
So, you are able to construct a half dozen
Sweet.
of the vessels. Now comes the challenge of loading your arcane energy
Okay.
into these things. So you will need to give me 6 Arcana checks.
Okay.
Arcana.
15.
Okay.
Blomp, so 26.
Ooh.
Another blomp.
Mark
Another
down.
blomp.
Mark down that second grenade.
A
as
third
being-
blomp.
Okay, second grenade is Blomp.
Yeah.
23.
Okay.
Ooh, 7.
Mark that one down.
Okay. And then a 14.
A 14. Okay. So we will, when these are used, we will have to see what happens with your 7 and your crit.
Okay.
You're able to successfully do
then-
this without blowing yourself up.
Good.
It's just a matter of will the whole shebang work.
I'm going for variety. So I'm going to do another set of bombs. And this time, I'm putting my voice and, stuff components. I'm doing my chants over these things. Same kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Spherical things, easy to grab. But this time, I'm putting white feathers and hearts of hens into the spheres while I'm concentrating. And I'm going to contain fear inside of these.
Wait, hearts of hens, like the heart of a chicken?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's one of the material components for fear.
Where would
Yeah.
Dren get these?
Butcher shop.
Or is there just all of
Yeah.
a sudden like a whole bunch of dead chickens around town?
Oh, I'd imagine that I have all kinds. No, I wouldn't be slaughtering chickens. I'd probably already have them on hand. Because it's one of my, standard things. So,
So wait,
have
now
to-
I have it in my head that like in your workshop, right? Because like the front
Oh,
part.
there's jars of
There's like a
gross-
cupboard full of
Well,
weird
I'm thinking
shit.
of like this, like the front part of the workshop, right? That's just the customer area.
Yeah, that's the
and
nice.
No one
looking-
else has really been anywhere else
Not really.
in Drenmai's shop. So I imagine there's a part where like even there's like the tinker section, right? But then there's the button you hit. And like some of the bookshelves like flip around and that's where all like the creepy arcana crap is kept.
Oh yeah,
Like all the components.
yeah. There's the gross green light turns on and it's like
Yeah.
all the gross stuff.
Like
is
stuff's
there.
coming up
But-
from the ground. It's like, oh God, what did I wander into?
Yeah, but I got a whole lot of little chicken hearts.
All right, so let's do another tinker check to see how many vessels are constructed.
All right. Okay, 17 and a 7. Okay, so I'll take the first one, 17.
All right, so you're able to construct 3 of these things,
Okay.
and now we got to do 3 Arcana checks.
24.
Okay.
That's a jack die. Okay, 20, dirty
Mhm.
20, and a 15.
15. All right, so all 3 of those you think are pretty successful in doing.
All
it.
right.
So that's pretty much going to take you the rest of the time. That's going to take you several hours to
Yeah,
put all
I was
that
gonna go
together.
for one more.
No, that's 9 grenades that you're making right now.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that's gonna take you a little bit of time. So Thunic, after what could amount to be about a long rest, there is a pecking on your forehead. There is more pecking on your forehead.
I was tired. Leave me alone.
There is a loud call, right in your face.
Fine. Hi.
It holds out its one leg, and you can see there's a message
Oh,
strapped to it.
thank you. I'm sorry. It was rude. It was very rude of me. It very gently unties.
Yeah.
Message.
He holds out his other claw.
He hovers.
He takes the other
Hover
claw
pro.
and shakes it. Thank you very much for your assistance.
Holds out the other claw.
That was very kind of you.
Do a nature check.
Breathe.
You know you're forgetting something.
It's not. It's nice to meet you. I'm going to have dinner or breakfast. I'm very hungry. Would you like to join me for my meal?
Ah.
Okay. And he basically he does. You should sit. It'll be easier.
Hops up.
Then he walks downstairs and sits down at the table that basically has been positioned in such a way where he can sit on the floor and not be in the way.
Yeah.
And then
it's very late, so the kid, this place is almost open 24/7 from all the different miners, but it's very late. There's almost no one in the common room. It's whatever's there is pretty much like the leftovers. Whatever's.
I get the feeling that at this time of night, it's basically you're gonna get what we give you.
Yeah, pretty much. There's no ordering. Yeah.
And he's just gonna eat whatever they give him, and he's gonna share it with the bird.
Okay.
What kind of bird was it, by the way?
It was a crow.
Okay.
But you do remember that crows like to be tipped.
Oh.
They like shiny things. They do a service for you. They're not doing it for free.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that is not.
So but the food does, that's useful.
But he's basically now he's realizing this. And he's like, do I have anything shiny on me? I need to buy time while I find some shiny somethings in one of my pockets. And while he's eating, it's like every so often one of his hands goes into a pocket and it's like rummages around in there and like, what's this? This feels shiny. Is it shiny? Until he finally finds like a glass bead or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, and this is for you, for helping. And he puts it down next to the bird.
And it hops down. And they have very clever beaks. It kind of like noses it a little bit, lets it roll, hops to the other side, puts it the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Very delicately picks it up in the tip of its beak and flies away. So, as for the nature of your letter, give me a persuasion check. Because we need to see how effective your initial letters were at going out.
Persuasion bonus.
I like how it's done like very edged closely to getting on the bad side of like the Crow Mafia. Or be like, he didn't tip us. Well.
La Crosta Nostra.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Don Crow Leone. Yes,
That was
I
very
did.
good.
Oh boy.
I feel bad in my soul.
As well you should.
You're gonna have to go purge yourself with some pho.
Yeah, or just die.
I'd go the pho route, but
I've already eaten pho today.
Anyway, how was your persuasion check?
11.
11. So the letter you receive is from the Academy Ren Subtilia.
Mm-hmm.
And it is written. The missive that you received back was all the sorted. Master Gentle Trunk, thank you very much for reaching out to us. The standard kind of boilerplate response.
Did I write that, or did Hugon write that one? I sent it. I know. Sonic sent it.
I thought you wrote all the letters. Yeah, because you just kind of went up onto the roof, wrote your letters, and sent them.
Okay, yeah.
And it's sort of the boilerplate. Oh, we thank you very much. We've received your communication. We've forwarded it to the proper channels. We will see about responding to you in the best possible time that we can. We understand time is of the essence. Blah 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 blah. It's a very non-committal. It's not a no. It's not.
Well, Hugon will remember this if he ever hears about it.
But the name it's signed to it, Juravandius, is not one that you recognize. It's not like any of the people that you previously had dealings with.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not sure if anyone that you previously had dealt with, any of the previous mages that you had helped to negotiate this deal with. This looks like it came from like the desk of the secretary of the person who's in charge. So you're not even sure if like the real person actually got it.
That's got the secretary, the assistant to the other person who has no idea what's going on, but they feel important.
Yeah. It's like the situation where Weird Al Yankovic wanted to do a parody of a Lady Gaga song, and he was told, no, we don't want you to do it. Then Lady Gaga found out, because none of her people actually talked to her. They just said, no, we don't want Weird Al Yankovic. And she says, yes, of course I want Weird Al Yankovic to do it. So it was a case of where he got the rejection, but it might not have gone through the...
And then somebody got fired because who the fuck tells Weird Al Yankovic no?
Yeah, don't you know that means that I made it? It's...
Yeah.
Or the opposite, where he got LL Cool J's permission to do Gangster's Paradise.
Coolio, yeah.
Coolio, I'm sorry. And then Coolio was like, no, I never did that. That's not cool. I would never have done that because that's not cool. And
It was cool, and it made you famous beyond your natural lifespan.
So, but yeah, so your letter is a non-committal committal to form the exploratory committee to investigate.
Oh goodness.
Disappointing.
So, and Hugon, you hear Thunuk thumping around upstairs.
Oh, okay. Then it's basically go time. He runs up and tells Thunuk, "I need you to open the portal to the monastery and keep it open."
I can do that.
That would be good.
Do I have to do that right now? Because
Yes.
Food
Yeah.
eating. It just takes up.
Take your food with you,
and
Yeah.
and goes downstairs.
and then
And
Hugon
eating as he walks.
runs to the Swift's residence and like hammers on the door.
And a very alert Tadell answers the door.
Good. You're already awake.
I just woke up. You
Pack
told
a
me
bag.
you told me that I'm supposed to wake up quickly.
Pack a bag really quickly, and then you need to come with me.
It's already packed.
Good. Grab it and let's go.
It's right by the door. She grabs it. She's got her go bag. She's been waiting for this call.
So he runs back to the cemetery.
Calls.
And like, is the portal open when he gets there?
Let us do the
Thunuk?
the cartographer check.
I forget what we established was a cartographer.
Survival.
Ah.
A survival.
I mean, we're only going to the monastery, so you've done it before.
Yeah. So I'll give you
Oh,
I'll give
yeah.
you advantage on that.
Oh, thank God. As that was a total of an 8. Okay, that's better. That's a 16.
You're able to dial in, boop boop boop, do your Stargate thing. Event horizon forms, and Tadell just looks in and she goes, "I just jump in."
Yeah, walk through. Just you're not going to drown. I know it looks like water. It's going to be cold, but just head through. And he gives her very quick, very efficient directions to the monastery. And
Follow this
basically
path. Watch out for the Yeti. You have
It's essentially like this is where that cardio pays off
mm-hmm.
because you need to get this done quickly. And then when you are finished, you stay there.
And while he's saying that, he's like, "Oh, and the otter. If the otter, if you meet the otter, say hi for me." And he continues eating.
Just ignore. If you do see an otter, I guess it'll be all right. Oh, and like as she goes through, he's like, "Oh wait, did you tell your parent?" And then she's gone.
Yeah, she's right through.
He's like, "Shit!
I knew I forgot something.
God damn it!"
So
And then the portal winks out.
Tadell Swift goes through. Well, no, remember you told him he had to keep it open for the evac.
Oh, right.
So she has all of her letters. Tadell Swift does a whole like a like one of those like kind of like psyching herself up and leaps through the portal.
That was probably not wise. Your momentum is preserved.
It is just like the game Portal, where it's and you know what? I think that is an excellent place for us to end our game this evening.
Yeah.
We've got grenades were made. We have magical grenades of questionable
Questionable quality.
Some of them very good. Some of
them not.
They're
I went
grenades.
for both. Yeah. I went for scary chaos and lots of destruction.
Grenades.
It's gonna be the only way to tell if they work is to experiment, right? We've got Taylor Swift off to do her mission. We've got everyone has had a long rest, so we shall see
We had
what's
some body horror, you know.
buy some body horror. I'd say it was a successful evening.
Yeah,
Um,
you know.
So we are going to come back with table talk in just the briefest of moments, and where we will talk. I'm sure we have to talk about different were creatures. We talked about that before, and we need to kind of figure out where we are on that. That's new business. We'll deal with old business first, and we will be right burb. So stay tuned.
Ah.
All right, we are back for table talk. This
Hi.
week We are going to consult the mighty D4 to see who we start with. Quadrant 2. That would be blind cleric.
Favorite moment of the game was like probably the bug.
Oh God. The body horror.
Yeah, I mean, one of the very first Dungeons and Dragons campaigns I ever played in was Shackled City. If you know anything about Shackled City, it is one of the last 3.5 adventures that was ever published. And one of the main villains is this horrific undead entity called Caius, and he has these undead followers that are like these enormous, awful maggots.
Blech.
That like if they touch you, they get to try to burrow into you, and it's bad. You don't want it to happen.
In real life or in D&D, no, I don't want those things.
No, you don't want it to happen. So that was an interesting. That was nostalgic for me.
Okay.
And the funny thing is I did a very similar. Like I damaged the crap out of that character trying to get the bug out. I did the same thing with this guy.
We shall go in a counterclockwise direction, basically unwinding the ritual that we did in the beginning. So that goes to quadrant 1.
Yeah, and I was told he never goes counterclockwise.
No. We're talking about the X formation that you mentioned.
Oh man. I don't know. Eno's the revelation that Eno has a spider venom enjoyment now.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And a spider venom sugar daddy, apparently.
Apparently, yeah.
Clues.
I think mine, it's probably a super small moment, but it's when actually the spider venom got delivered to Hugon. And I just picture that moment, like he was probably thinking, oh, a vial or something like that. And then he gets these 2 as big buckets essentially. And like that internal glee of like, I could do so much more. Like it's the briefest of moments, but I really liked it because it was just like,
The clouds parted, angels sang.
Exactly. It was just.
I was going to do one caltrop.
so
now I can do
funny.
many
Now I can do
caltrops.
anything.
And now I can do all this other stuff, and I can dip the arrows in poison and all kinds of stuff.
And
Yeah,
that's
I
just
like
what you
just
want.
that little tiny moment.
Just what you want. A pack of raging gnolls now tripping face. That's exactly what you want. That's
And listen, sometimes that's what you need.
Mr. Roz.
There were a lot of good things. I like. My mind keeps coming back to the angel devil thing, Hugon, and then Hugon's actually saying what the devil Hugon is saying, or angel Hugon. I don't know. It's all very confusing. But yeah, I like that a lot.
That was actually my favorite moment too. Was Hugon just jumping in and being like, "No, this is exactly what I would say," and don't stop it. And we're not. That was nice. I think that was one of my favorites of the game as well. So that's old business. Now on to new business.
Were
Onto
creatures.
new business.
Rare creatures.
Where creatures.
It has to be a brief discussion, but we can discuss them.
Yeah.
I introduced a lycanthrope into the game that I run on Saturdays
Oh,
for the
nice.
mods, and it's a were parrot, or I call it were it.
Yeah, that got
Amazing.
So if
Yeah.
you use it too much, would it be considered a lycanthrope?
Could be. I was wondering if there was truth contropes, actually.
Ones
that only tell truth, possible.
Yeah. But yeah, it can turn into a parrot, and it also it has the sort of hybrid form and then or it could be a humanoid. And I'm not going to give anything else away because Clues is right here, and I don't want her to know what
Uh-huh.
else.
I gotta know the things.
But yeah, we haven't seen any like were-bovines.
Yeah, and I think the reason that is just they probably exist, right?
They just don't bite.
But they have no real need to engage in predatory behavior. So
Well,
they
and
just
we
like
always
occasionally
go-
turn into people, or like people turn into cows, and they're like, "Yeah, okay."
Yeah, and we always go big. Why isn't there like a rare cricket, a were cricket?
Or like a were-shrew.
Where there were
Yeah.
were-crickets, but they pretty much all died because they just got stepped on or eaten because they're at the bottom of the food chain. So it's not like
Although an
I should turn to
enormous
were-cricket,
cricket
and,
would be like,
and then the crow comes and eats it, and like, oh god, well,
But you gotta imagine they exist somehow.
Yeah, I'm sure like there's
Oh,
a
man.
robust taxonomy.
Now
Of
I'm thinking of
were
like something worse than like being a small were cricket, but were spiders and shit like that.
Yeah, that would be bad.
That's a bad time.
well. The
right
question
there.
is the hybrid form, is it always going to be like vaguely human-sized?
I mean, it's probably going to be like
Because-
something like a drider.
Well, even like a were-rat gets like smaller. They don't like get like rat-sized, but the were-rat hybrid is still like an were-badger.
Mhm.
You know,
A werewolf spider.
A were
Oh,
Satan.
God.
A wolf spider. It's a werewolf spider, but it's not a werewolf. It's a spider. But can it also turn into a werewolf? Is it a
Spider.
werewolf spider?
This is like conflicting curses here, is what it
Yeah,
sounds
Oh, man.
it's a spider that got bit by a werewolf. Oh, no, nah, I don't. Anyway.
Or is
whatever.
it like the were-bovines are kind of like the were-bears? So were-bears, being that they're good creatures, generally don't bite because they don't want to pass the curse on.
Okay, but alternate question: can you become a were something by biting the were something? Sort of like how zombieism, you could get bit by a zombie,
Interesting.
or
That's
if you bite a consume zombie, you become zombie.
It may be how the curse is transferred.
Yeah, because it's always done by the saliva. So I guess if you eat the entirety of the thing and then you're having the salivatic
You make
glands,
out with it.
No, you're eating like no, but
Or
then
that.
if you eat it, your acids are generally gonna destroy anything. That's the whole point of stomach acid.
That's
That's
true.
why
but it's a-
biting,
right.
because it goes into your bloodstream. That's how the saliva gets to your bloodstream. So if you're eating it, I'd say actually no, it wouldn't turn you.
Well, that if we're gonna jump as an example for jumping systems, in World of Darkness, they actually dealt with that with vampires
That's
and
right.
werewolves, and they basically said that the two are immune to each other's bites. It's impossible for a werewolf to become a vampire. It's impossible for a vampire to become a werewolf. Just that there's an
Mhm.
immunity to the bite.
Also, werewolves are so dangerous in World of Darkness that, like, if a vampire happens to bite one, it's usually the end of the vampire.
yeah, that's not gonna do.
The-
Yeah,
the vampire usually gets ripped into pieces.
yeah. It's like okay, and now we're gonna.
It's like that really hurt, man.
Just shred it.
Used to
Yeah.
be like a Rubik's cube.
Just shreds it. Yeah, turns him into a Rubik's cube, or he shreds him like that junk mail you don't want anymore. Just little pieces. Or you can go with the underworld approach, which basically the bites would
Yeah,
be
they're poisonous to
They're
each other.
poisonous to each other. So I would imagine that once you are cursed once with some form of lycanthropy, it's like you're not gonna get another form of lycanthropy. But although you could have some fun with that, like, hey, what am I gonna turn into this time? I don't know.
It's like a kaleidoscope of
Oh
curses.
my god!
But then we would add zombieism into it, so you could have like a zombie were-vampire.
Oh
This
God.
is starting
I
to
don't
sound
think
like
zombie and vampire can be contiguous.
What if?
I know that.
What
I know that
happens
in-
if
I
the
know
werewolf?
as a
What
point of
happens if the werewolf bites the dragon, and the dragon fails?
well, the dragon will probably make its fort save, but if
no.
it fails,
But if they don't, let's
Yeah.
say it's a little dragon, little worm.
I think I don't know. I don't know what that would be because
were
if,
dragon.
if anything that Blockbuster taught me from the B movie section, it doesn't matter what it is. If it bites another thing that has a curse, it has both curses now. So you can be zombie, vampire, werewolf thing.
Bad things happen when things bite you. I mean, that's basically.
yeah, I know that in old editions like 3.5 and third edition, from what I recall, there was some really like Fiend Folio introduced a whole lot of weird crap. There was a whole bunch of half stuff and like template stacking rules. So like vampiric lycanthropes could exist.
Hmm.
So like there was like a it was a vampiric were-rat was
Oh,
the
God.
template that they used. It was not good.
That is terrifying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not. That's not.
Also sounds super gross.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot to unpack there.
There's a lot going on there, and it's none
It's-
of it's good. None of it's good.
none of it. Yeah. Well, I
It's like
think
the
there's only
crazy
one way
white
for us.
rabbit.
There's only one way for us to find out, and that's to engage in some experimentation and to see what happens when were creatures bite other were creatures, and to see.
Trent is down.
Yeah, it's like, well, you know, it's kind of like, or no, you know what? You remember in high school when you had to do the genetic thing with the like the brown eyes, blue eyes thing, and you'd match up the genes, and you'd.
Punnett squares.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that. Except with were creatures, we got to figure out which are the which
Yeah,
are
this
the
is going down a dark path.
which are the recessive genes, which are
This is
the
how
dominant
things get added to the monster manual.
This is
you know,
exactly this is how we
Stages
spent all
a
this
thousand
time
years
asking
in,
if we
right.
could, and we never asked if we should.
Thanks, Malcolm.
You
Yes.
should.
Sometimes
Trent's answer is always yes.
life it finds a way.
Life,
Um,
finds a way.
Okay, so
Yes.
recommendations for the week.
Oh.
I finally watched Good Omens, and everyone should watch it.
Yes, it's awesome.
I've been
saw,
saving it.
Into the Spider-Verse for the first time.
Isn't
your
it
first
amazing?
time?
Yeah, it was good. I liked it a lot.
I love that one.
It's
So
good.
good.
Fantastic.
I've been watching Godfather again. The first one.
Yes.
You
It's a
can
good-
stop after the second one. You don't need to watch the third one.
Yeah. First two are all you need.
I need to pick up a can of primer for my.
Oh, for
Oh,
your
it's right
models.
for your painting.
Yeah, I had some very helpful information from Immortan Joe regarding some painting, so I need to go pick up a can of primer. But other than that, things are pretty normal.
I
Haven't
watched.
heard back about my new apartment yet, so
Oh,
we're
well,
we're
yeah.
hoping that turns out well.
That would be cool.
That would be cool if I had a place to live. That would be great.
Yeah, awesome.
That would be fantastic.
I watched Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I've been seeing that floating around a lot
It's
recently.
really good.
I can see that being good.
It was really good. So you have Troy Baker doing Batman and the Joker, and Troy Baker always does a great job.
Mhm.
They're basing it off of the latest Nickelodeon version of the Turtles. But what's awesome about it is that there's all these little references to other Ninja Turtle products. There's a few references to the movies that are really easy to pick out. Like the first time you see Shredder, it's like, oh, that's from the '90s live action movie. There's stuff that's like directly from like the '80s cartoon where you're like, oh yeah, that. I forget who voices him. It's Kevin Richardson, I think. Does Baxter Stockman? You know, the Fly, the mutant
Oh,
fly.
wow, yeah.
But he's
Mhm.
doing a Jeff Goldblum impersonation the entire time. Really well animated, a lot of fun. I would highly recommend.
It's not in the same vein, but there was man, Jesus, this was so long ago. It would have been like 1999 or 2000 in that area. But there was a crossover episode in the Power Rangers that had the Ninja Turtles in it.
Oh God.
It was pretty hilarious.
I think I've seen gifs of that. I didn't know that was a real thing.
Oh my God.
I
Okay.
remember watching the episode and being like, "Yes, this is the two greatest things ever."
That's amazing. Well, they had that live action Ninja Turtle show for a while where they added in the female turtle.
Yes, they did. She was there.
Oh, so okay, so it was that kind of crossover. Okay. Yeah, it was yeah. That's but yeah, I would highly recommend that. And it's only you can rent it through Amazon for like $2 or $3. So, I'm waiting for when the rent feature becomes available for Batman Hush because I want to see it, but I don't want to spend $20 on it. So
I did not
For
know
any-
this out.
Book readers, I just started reading the Lies of Locke Lamora.
Oh, my aunt has recommended that several times to me.
Yeah, it's like Robin Hood meets Ocean's 11. So
Oh,
Neat.
yeah,
Sold.
it's cool, and I like it so far, and I'm like halfway through. So if any book readers need like a new book, it's by Scott Lynch. There we go.
so we should put all this stuff. We should start like cataloging this and putting it in our
We'll
Discord.
put it in Twitter.
Yeah,
Put it on Twitter and Discord.
yeah.
Like here, recommendations for the week.
Yeah, no, I like that. Yeah, because we, and if anyone else has recommendations for like just cool things that they have been watching, reading, I'm in the process right now of finishing a book called, oh shoot, what is it called? It is called Barbarian Days, by this guy William Finnegan, and it's basically he did the whole Endless Summer thing where he just went around the world surfing. It was back in the 70s, so like a lot of these spots were like before anyone else was surfing them. Like he was one of the first ones to surf Madeira, and it's just all like the amazing, all just the amazing stuff that they did. So yeah, it's a pretty cool book. I haven't picked it up in a while, so I'm trying to finish that. So. Yvonne or Roz?
I'm actually had to put a pause on second. What is it? Wise Man's Fear. I started reading Wise Man's Fear, and I had to put a pause on it because I started feeling a little bit self-conscious that my Icelandic is garbage. So I'm reading the Eddas and the sagas in Icelandic. And I'm like, what the hell is this? You fucking mean? I write a word down and I go Google Translate it, so I'm trying to get better at it again.
Trying to get better at your Icelandic. I want you to teach us how to curse in Icelandic.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I can't. I was 12 when I moved here, so I don't know any how to curse.
Damn it!
But
We asked him that before, I think.
But we can find the words, right? But we won't know how to pronounce them properly. So.
That's a good point.
Listen, you get drunk enough, anything in Icelandic sounds legit.
Yeah, probably.
Any suggestions from Roz?
Eat your greens.
That's
It's
important.
true.
They don't do anything if you just look at them.
Greens are important, and you should eat them.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Okay, so what are we playing this week? Are we still doing?
Oh my gosh. I'm still doing Resident Evil 2, and I ran out of bullets, and I have 2 shotgun shells left. And then I realized that after meandering to the police station for a while, I have to go outside, and I got nothing. There's 3 zombies waiting for me on the other side of a gate that I have to open. You guys have probably played this, so you know what I'm talking about.
I've never played any Resident Evil games.
Okay.
It's very good. I like Resident Evil.
Let's just say that there's a part where if you looked at the map, it's like, that's a door. It's marked as a door. You should open it. It didn't occur to me until I wandered to the police station like 3 or 4 times to see if I missed something. And then I looked at the map again and realized I have to go outside. Because that's the only way for me to get anywhere else right now. I've checked everything else. I have to go outside.
I think my least favorite part about horror games like that is running out of bullets or becoming so reliant on the gun that like when it's empty, you're like, oh, I'm going to die now.
That's it.
Yeah, pretty much. I can't tell if I'm enjoying it or not, or if I'm just really stressed out.
Well, I just
It's
added
joy or fear. I don't know.
I just added another channel to our Discord called The Weekly Rec.
Nice.
So anyone who has recommendations, we could also put them in there so that we could properly catalog them over time. Because I know there's always been like recommendations that have come up, and it's always like I forget about them and I just think about them later, and that way we could always see. And that way, for those of you who follow us on the game here, who are in the chat now, if you have other things that you would like to share with us, because that's how we learn about cool things. That's how we learn about other things that other people like, that we may too like. Cool. Any other announcements, notes?
I can't say shit about some of the fun stuff I'm doing yet.
Yeah.
NDAs.
But
Soon.
I assure you, it'll be cool.
Soon.
Soon.
Eddie and Review are going to be at PAX West.
Oh, yay!
A couple of us are going to be
there.
there. Yeah.
Yep.
I wish that I had the finances to make that happen. I would really like to go, but I can't.
One
One
day.
day.
Also, one day. So hopefully next year.
2020.
2020.
Big numbers.
2020.
Largely the
Yeah.
issue is just I'm not sure where I'm going to be living
I did see someone put the suggestion out on Twitter, and I hope that it can happen. Is that this year when the ball drops in New York City, Barbara Walters has to be there, so that way she could say, "This is
2020.
I'm Barbara Walters, and this is 2020."
That'd be amazing.
That would be pretty awesome. Yeah,
So
I would say yes.
I all of these things, the same way that I think LeVar Burton should take over Jeopardy.
That would be amazing.
That would be. I would start watching Jeopardy again.
Yes. Hey, he said he wants to do it. So, yeah. So that pretty much brings us to the end of our strem. So, everyone be cool to each other. Follow us on Twitter. Eat, drink, roll. Join our Discord so we can all talk and communicate throughout the week. Watch Late to the Game on Tuesday night. And join us next week for yet another game of Dungeons and Dragons and or body horror. And any of these things can happen.
All of these things.
All of these things. All of the things will happen, but join us. But thank you very much for giving over some of your precious time. We truly appreciate it. And we will see you guys next week. So, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.